fell off.
Are you serious? I don't know. I touched this like barely.
Yeah.
Sure. Like...
He's too jumpy right now. Gotta calm him down. Throw his yerb on the ground.
All right, I'm back, dude. That was fucking disaster.
Well, just like that, we'll call that the beginning of the episode. Welcome back, folks. Yeah. Andrew, we're recording right now. Could you not eat?
Oh, come on. I just went through all that.
Yeah.
All right, I'll wait.
Welcome back to Marathon. I'm Colt. I'm joined today by two of my good friends. I'll let them introduce themselves.
I am Henry.
I'm Andrew, and I'm hungry.
It is 11 a.m. No breakfast has been eaten.
It's 11 a.m. Andrew's
not even 11. It's 10:49.
Some vegan sausage.
This is the earliest
on the ground. That's what's happened so far today.
Yeah, it's more than I usually do before 11. So it's also the earliest we started recording this podcast.
It is true.
It's going to be the longest day we've had yet.
Oh, it's going to be. This is the most movies we've done in a day. This is 5.
We're upping it up.
Let's cut to the chase. We're watching Twilight, folks.
Whoa, you're just going to drop that?
Yeah, I'm going to drop it immediately on the viewer.
Okay,
Twilight.
cool.
They read the title of the episode, but now they know from inside the episode, too. This is a Twilight one.
We should stop naming them.
You should stop naming
them. It just says 5.
Yeah.
Find out inside.
Yeah.
Click for answer.
Click for answer. It's a different link. Whole different website. It's a key.
Yeah, just rickroll people.
Yeah. Red blue means Twilight.
Okay. I think I've seen one of these just like in passing.
Yeah.
Like when
you
I was
walking down the street, saw it through the
I was walking by my local Sears Home Goods and
Twilight was just
on all the TVs, and I just kept walking by. Like, I viewed parts of it here and there, but
damn, you're in the Best Buy, just surrounded.
Yeah. Just surrounded by Twilight. I think I've only seen the first one though, right? When did these come out?
I think 2008.
Because this was like prime. I existed in the right time for this, but I was a boy, so I did not partake. Well, this was a huge thing.
Huge. Yeah. I saw the first one, I remember, like with my mom and my sister just hanging out. We watched it to like make fun of it, and it was hilarious. I'm very excited for the first one.
Yeah.
And then I was my high school like journalism movie reviewer, like pretty much the one.
That's awesome.
And people were hyped, and they were like, "Yo, gotta send you in to New Moon. That's number 2, opening night. We're buying you a ticket. You're going in there." I was the only single dude. There were maybe 10 dudes in that theater. All the other ones
were they just constantly making eye contact with each other, like, holy shit?
No, they were all like head down. Trucker hat pulled low. But everyone came there with their girlfriend, except for me. I was the one solo.
You came there with a notebook.
14-year-old, right. Yeah, just like, boom.
Like, what are you doing here?
People took pity on me. They chatted me up. They're like, "Hey, buddy." But that was the only time I've seen this movie, was at midnight, surrounded by passionate fan base.
Do you think that made it better or worse for you?
It didn't add as much as I wanted to.
Okay. Sounds good.
How's that review? Can we locate it?
It was pretty incredible, but it's probably somewhere on the internet.
If we can find that, we will throw that in the show description, because I would love to see young Henry's review of Twilight New Moon.
I toured a new one, but
okay.
As far as like bad movies go, there's always something to watch, or there's something to make fun of in these, is what I'm going to say.
Totally, yeah. I mean, I think there's a uncanny valley that kind of comes across with bad movies too, and you want it to be real bad if you want to.
Yeah, if it's gonna be bad, might as well just go all the way.
Yeah. Have you seen these, Andrew, at all?
Right.
In fucking passing, about a year ago.
All of them, or just?
Yeah, we had a marathon, but it was like over a week, and it was while I was working. So my old job, I would just chat, basically technical support, 2 people at a time.
Right.
And then I had my other screen for a Zoom with my friends who were also doing the same thing, but we were so busy with work that it was just like playing in the background. So I was in Twilight World for about a week, but I retained almost nothing. The only thing I know is Bella is just like cucking 2 dudes for the entire saga.
10 hours.
That was a huge thing. I mean, obviously not for me, but the team Jacob, team Edward thing.
Oh, yeah,
I remember people
was,
wearing T-shirts in middle school.
That was a thing forever.
Yeah, do people still care about that?
Oh yeah,
100%.
Is this still an active fan base?
Yes,
I think so.
Is it?
Yeah,
that's
my coworkers are still hyped.
People do love Twilight.
Okay,
I do remember that.
That's
from
interesting.
That, opening midnight, just asking people like, "So, are you Team Edward, Team Jacob?" And just like the passion that came out, just like, "Oh, I mean, I just love Jacob, but like Edward is like her one." You know, like, it's like so deep. And I mean, you're like, I'm like, you know, this is probably how I sound when I talk about Star Wars, but just from the outside, you're like, wow.
That's very interesting. Yeah.
No, people are passionate.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad people are still into it. I assumed this was one of those series that was like, it came and went. I don't know. Like in my mind, this kind of exists in the same space as like the Hunger Games. And the Hunger Games, I don't think left a lasting impression. Maybe it did. Conservatives are still doing the 3 thing. Pretend like I'm not supposed to get a vaccine or whatever.
I avoided this like the plague when it was coming out.
Yeah.
Just because I was like, fuck this. Very upset about it.
It's a really contentious series. I mean, it feels like a lot of people have very strong opinions on this, whether they like it or not.
Yeah. And then I never got on the bandwagon, so I tried to avoid it, and then long and behold, here we are again.
We're going to watch all 5 of them in an afternoon.
Yep.
Well, cool. Is there anything we should know going into to this? Any huge groundbreaking knowledge that we should have before we view all 5 of these films, or should we just jump into the first one?
I don't know. Robert Pattinson is now a good actor.
Robert Pattinson, now Batman.
First Edward.
Apparently
he did not get or like this character while playing it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna throw that out there in case we can tell.
In case we can tell if he's hating his life as he acts in this.
As he performs this star-making role that is just killing him on the
really
inside.
It was a breakout for him. And then what's the main female?
Kristen Stewart.
Yes. I mean, she's still in.
She was in
she's
stuff.
Still in stuff.
Oh yeah, she's still huge.
She's doing
What's
great.
his name? Taylor Lautner is not. He's Jacob. He is not.
Taylor Lautner.
As far as I know,
didn't graduate from Mickey Mouse Club.
I do know
they were adulthood. It seems
they did try and push him out after the first or second movie because he wasn't like buff enough. So then between shooting, he got like huge.
I remember him being
because they were
incredibly buff.
Yeah, they were like,
we're
gonna push you out, and he was like, no, I want to stay in.
Stay in the movies?
Yeah.
Really?
So he got
second
ripped
movie,
and like convinced him.
He has no shirt for most of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they were gonna like recast him or I guess get rid of him or something.
Fascinating.
We'll get more into that later.
Okay, we'll follow up on
that's the only cool thing I retained from last time.
Let's in our minds try to find a like percentage of time that he has his shirt off in these
For
movies.
the first one compared to the
first
second
one, not he's only clothes, but in the second one is where I remember it was like, dude, like you're in Washington. It's 12 at night. Throw a shirt on.
It's for sure cold outside.
Yeah.
And then I do remember the CGI baby for the later ones.
Okay. Isn't there a weird like vampire horror birth thing?
What do you mean
horror?
by that?
Horror birth thing.
Okay.
Like scary.
Horror vampire horror birth.
I
don't know where you're going
with this.
I don't know where you're going with this.
No, but isn't it like a scary thing? Like it's hurting her. Like I remember that being.
I think she's having a tough time.
Yeah. Well, what's her name? Stephanie Meyers, the author. You know, famously very Mormon. So the whole like metaphor of this thing is like vampires are sex and sex is bad. So I think that probably why the childbirth event is scary is like trying to push.
Interesting. I didn't know that context. I'm surprised that this came from someone that was Mormon.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's like the tension is that his vampirism is their like sexual tension. Whoa. And it's like he wants to bite her, but he won't because he's a good boy.
Oh man, this is
yeah. We're about to get down a road.
This might be worse than I
was expecting. Okay, well let's just watch the first one.
Okay.
You're impossibly fast and strong. You gotta give me some answers. I'd rather hear your theories.
I have considered radioactive spiders and kryptonite.
It's all superhero stuff, right? What if I'm not the hero? What if I'm the bad guy?
I know what you are. Your skin is pale white and ice cold. You don't go out into the sunlight.
Say it out loud. Say it.
Vampire.
Are you afraid?
No. This isn't real. This kind of stuff just doesn't exist.
It does in my world. I just want to try one thing. I don't know how long I've waited for you.
What is going on?
Security guard at the mill got killed by some kind of animal.
An animal.
My family, we're different from others of our kind. You brought a snack.
What, nobody's coming after me?
The hunt is his obsession. He's never gonna stop.
I'd rather die than to stay away from you.
He's got unparalleled senses, absolutely lethal.
I'll do whatever it takes to make you safe again. You're faster than the others. But not stronger. I'm strong enough to kill you. You are my life now.
Right, I'm in.
Here he is.
Okay, can I eat now?
No.
I've been holding on the entire time during the last movie. I only eat on mic.
Yeah, I'm a vegan. Just like Edward.
It's like Edward and his family.
The first Twilight.
The
in
first
the bag.
Twilight. I agree.
You know what? I had a good time.
I had a very good time.
I enjoyed it.
My-
2 hours, over 2 hours, flew by.
Yeah, this is probably might be the third time I've seen this movie in my life.
Whoa.
It's still fun.
It's not terrible, honestly.
It keeps pace or something. Like
Yeah.
it's just there's consistently something remarkable to see, and I don't mean that in a good way all the time, but like
Yes, very much so that. But it's not boring. I think that's
No, it's never boring.
the trap that a lot of these like young adult movies fall into.
yeah,
They're just boring as hell.
Yeah. There's more to learn all the time, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what's going to happen next?
There's weird, wacky stuff like the vampire's skin glows in the sunlight.
Glitters.
There's stuff like that. Yeah.
They don't burn or anything. It's not hurtful to them.
Yeah.
They're just hiding.
I guess there's not a huge amount of plot that happens in this thing.
no, it's just really like the setup, and then our heroine, Bella Swan,
Yeah.
comes from
Edward's personal kind of
his
heroine.
personal heroine, which we'll
Brand,
get back to
personal
later.
brand of
Brand.
heroine.
Mother of God.
What a line. I'm going to start using that in my
favorite line.
Tinder.
Yeah, I've tried that before.
Looking
not
for
had
my
one.
new brand of
Looking
heroin.
for my personal brand of heroin.
Dude, that'll go down well. I'm telling
Yeah.
You will be
Good
into
to
that.
go.
you. So Bella Swan has to move to Forks, Washington, because
Yes.
her mom is hitting the road with her new boyfriend. We'll get into that later.
Works
That's
for
kind of
Major
a
League
whole-
Baseball, I think.
Minor league.
Minor League Baseball.
Minor league.
Yeah.
Touring.
Yeah, her mom just is going to tour the country, and they're like, we don't want to bring you along, honey.
Also, you can't stay in our
Also,
house.
yeah. You got 2 more years left of high school. How about you start across the country?
We're gonna
again?
send
Yeah.
you to live with your dad, which is chill. So this is one of the rainiest places on earth. Bella Swan shows up, not a drop of personality in her besides just vague like worry and confusion. Mouth slightly slack-jawed, brow a little bit furrowed,
Slightly.
and just kind of lost
Just out of it.
spiritually.
Yeah.
But
Not there.
For reasons inexplicable to all of us, she is the most popular person, not only in her
Oh my
school,
God.
but in this entire town.
In this
really is.
world,
In this
honestly.
world, yeah. So all these like 25, 30-year-old high schooler models that they've hired to play
Yes.
high schoolers swarmed around her. Bees to honey, flies to shit. They're just like, hey, you're the new kid. We
think
are excited.
One dude kissed her on the cheek.
Yeah, first day.
Every named male character that's her age is hitting on her.
Y-
I don't think there's
Every
an
single
exception.
one. Yeah.
All of
Prom's
them.
coming up. They're like, we're all going to ask. her.
Everyone's
Yeah.
asking
Immediately.
Bella out.
Anna Kendrick is an option, and we're not. We're
That
still
was
going
she
with
was
it.
second string.
I totally forgot that Anna Kendrick was
I
in
did
this
too,
movie. It was
yeah.
such a
I
great
love Anna
surprise.
Kendrick,
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
she's great. She's one of the better performers and characters in the movie just because
Totally.
she's legitimately charming.
Yeah.
And yeah, for whatever reason, all the dudes in this school are passing her up for Kristen Stewart, who is just
She
on
looks
heroin.
A walking corpse.
She looks like someone pissed in her
Deeply.
cereal. Didn't shit in it, but like there's a possibility someone peed in there and she's not sure.
Not sure.
She's
but
worried
she's
about what she
worried.
ate earlier.
She's worried.
Deeply depressed. But so this girl moved to Washington to be with her dad. They're, just yada yada.
They're big
And then
chilling.
she sees this group of high schoolers. They're all, what do we call them? Like Victorian.
They
Hipster.
look,
They did,
yeah, they look like they're from like a Ren fair.
Like there's some
Or just
Ren Fair
royal.
mixed
Yeah.
with Abercrombie.
Yes. That's a
And then
good.
she sees, who's that?
Yes.
Edward Cullen, who played by Robert Pattinson, who, as we said before, we know now is a skilled thespian, but
Yeah.
he is just doing these weird eye things. He is a weird dude in this movie.
This script sucks
It's
ass.
incredibly
This is
painful.
a
You know
terrible
that
script.
that first moment when he looks at her
Yeah.
and he's just all like that weird facial expression.
Looks like he's
Yeah.
gonna throw up.
The reason for that is because he couldn't read her thoughts right away. That's why he's making that face.
I thought it was because she walked in front of that fan and it blew her.
No,
scent
this is
at him.
before. This is in the lunchroom.
Oh,
You know when he's like really far.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
okay.
immediately scanning the room, being like, "What is she thinking?" That's what they wanted you to do.
So he's constantly reading everyone's
Everyone's mind.
This guy
And
sucks.
then,
all the
and then
time.
complaining about it. It's like
And then
everyone
complaining.
thinks
Cat.
thinks the same. Yeah,
Sex.
that person, money, sex, cat.
Cat.
That's all he says. He's like, I don't know which one you are. Money, sex, or cat. You're an enigma to me.
But
So there's some tension at first. He's just being weird and she doesn't know why. And when we say weird, like they're just staring at each other. Like a full 60 seconds goes by where they're
Yeah.
lab partners in their bio class and just looking at each other.
exchanging the worst dialogue.
And a
Yeah,
face.
first it's just faces.
Yeah.
It's kind of
And
like
a
a
face.
Dior commercial, but more angsty, just like eyes. And then he's like, oh, like, just, yeah, looks like he's going to throw up, runs out of the classroom. And she's like, oh, what's his deal? But for whatever reason, she really cares about this.
I don't know why they played it up that way because I was like, is he extremely repulsed?
It looked like he was gonna be sick
The whole time.
Yeah.
I think they're going for his desire for her is just so off the charts that he's just
Okay.
out of control, which comes up throughout the entire movie is that I can't control myself around you.
Yeah, but he doesn't look
Yeah.
like he's gonna throw up later.
No, they do pull up the throw up part. And we never know why.
Yeah,
They do.
Makes no sense.
But in spite of their tension, eventually they kind of meet, but for whatever reason, they're just tense.
Yes.
They want to talk to each other, but they're just tense. And then suddenly, one day, one of her classmates
Oh my
is
god.
Fast and the Furious Tokyo drifting his van at 90 miles
Through
an hour
a
through the
parking
parking
lot.
lot.
Dude, he turned into the school parking lot at like 40
Yeah,
with
and
a
it's
van in the
skidding.
way. I don't know how he had control there. Then he drifts completely sideways, power slides at least 100 feet.
Towards Bella, and she's like, "This is how I die." And then Edward saves her.
Yes.
Like suddenly he crosses the entire parking lot in a second, crushes part of the van with his hand, and she's like, "How could he do it?" And this sets her off into full Bella Swan Holmes mode, where she's like, "I've got to find out how that happened."
Let me
Oh, yeah.
find this one book that Jacob told me about.
Yeah, that she's Googling
Jacob,
research.
Jacob
Jacob,
told her
yeah.
about. Yeah.
It's like a PBS fucking schematic.
Yeah.
Just showing you, scrolling around.
She went to the
screen.
library and Googled some stuff.
Google some stuff, finds a book on vampire lore, except for whatever reason it's not called vampires.
No.
Because they don't give up that word for real. Like it feels like 40 minutes goes by while she's trying to figure out, how did you stop it? And he's like, Bella, you hit your head. You're hysterical.
Yeah, he's like, adrenaline.
No one will believe you.
No one will believe you when you tell them I'm a
hardcore
vampire. Random stuff. Anyway, I'm just trying to give you an idea of there's a very long buildup of her seeing that weird stuff is happening. Something's weird about Edward and she wants to know what it is, but he won't tell her, and they just milk that out for
do.
eternity.
It finally clicks when she touches his hand in the car at one point.
Yeah, they're
He's
both
really
reaching
cold.
for the AC at the same time. She's like, "You're so cold," and
She's
he's
like-
he just goes back into his facial expressions where he kind of looks like he wants to cry, or
He
like
does
he's
look
sick.
like he wants to cry.
Yeah, she's constantly like depressed, lost, confused. He's always trying not to cry.
Yeah.
That's pretty much their dynamic through the movie, and then suddenly they're in love. That's just like the big hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah. She runs off into the woods. People are already.
In the middle of the school day, she just like All right, here I go.
Hikes into the
Walks in the
forest.
woods.
I haven't brought up this part yet. There's been random various murders going on throughout town. So
Yeah.
it's like people are getting killed, and she knows at this point that he is one of the cold ones, as her special book has told her. Also, we need to get into that sequence. Yeah, she's reading bits from this book, which is like cold skinned, and then the movie has to edit back to the moment that she touched his hand and flinched.
God.
It's like full Da Vinci Code style flashbacks. To
Yeah,
this thing.
kind of shaky cam.
Yeah.
Intensity,
Weird sepia tone.
Yeah, they did that with
old
the
clothes, but it's the same
ballet
actors.
room fucking picture she drew.
Yeah.
They mention it not 60 seconds later. It's right afterwards. They're like, we need a flashback. Solidify this.
Let's make sure no one is confused in this movie.
At any moment. Yeah. So she finds out he's a vampire, and he's like, say it out loud.
Even though he could read her thoughts at this point.
He can't
probably
read her thoughts. No, that's the thing. That's why he's into her.
Do they explain that in this movie? Why he can't read her thoughts, or is that kind of just a hanging?
It's just a thing.
It's because he's a nerd.
Okay. Really?
No. Okay. Yeah. That's what makes her special, because clearly nothing else makes her special. I mean,
clearly no. I mean,
doesn't
there's nothing going on.
I mean, the whole town loves her.
This is true. Also, I really don't mean to be vicious. I like Kristen Stewart, but whatever they were doing with her performance, and I don't even think it was all her fault, but it's just inexplicable.
I think I'm so baffled by the script, because can you imagine reading some of the dialogue that they're saying to each other on a piece of paper and being like, yeah, we'll turn this into a movie.
Yeah,
because they don't say anything. They just sit and stare at each other and then breathe heavily and then say some bullshit.
Oh yeah, there's lots of throat clearing and head shaking. She's just, her method of being is just be like, I don't. It's complicated. It's very anxiety producing just watching her.
Yeah.
Fidget throughout 2 hours.
Yeah.
Looks out the window, starts bobbling her head.
And starts
Any emotion that she's trying to portray starts moving around.
Yeah, it just starts biting her lip, shaking her head at the stem, and just clearing her throat. Sometimes orgasmic, sometimes
labored. I would just say she's labored the whole time.
For real. So we did see we saw a writer's cameo. Did she direct it too, Stephanie Meyer? Okay.
Someone else.
Okay. Who directed this? Do we know?
Catherine Hardwicke.
Okay. And is that the same person for all of these movies?
I don't think so.
We'll check that out.
Okay. We will report back on that.
So not to keep summarizing, but really we just have to talk about every moment of this movie. It's all
there's so many good moments.
Bangers left and right.
So this is going to set up something that Andrew found up for us. She's like, I know you're a vampire. And he's like, I've killed people before. And she's like, I don't care. And you're like, what? He's like, I need to show you the truth. Throws her on his back and runs up a mountain with the weirdest effects possible.
Hold on, spider monkey.
Yeah, I didn't like that. And then they're flying around the trees running. And so you know how they get up on top of the tree at that point? They didn't have enough budget to do a lot of CGI at all. So there's a lot of cool practical effects. There's actually stunt doubles just on that tree up there. Yeah.
Oh.
And then they flew a helicopter around them to get those shots.
Dang.
So
we're actually cutting ahead of the movie. First is the run up the mountain to the sunlight and the glittering.
You're talking about that.
Classic glitter scene.
Because I want to talk about how they did the running.
Oh, the running.
So first off, he's running straight up a mountain. His legs are blurred, but he's also clearly not connected to the ground.
Yeah, he looks like he's sprinting, but then running, floating, like
he's on
times
wires.
the speed.
Yeah.
There's one kind of special effect in this movie, and it's thing goes fast, we blur it out, and then it appears where it's going.
Yeah.
That's the only special effect.
Yeah, but otherwise, maybe the sky is slightly CGI'd here and there.
Yeah.
With storms.
The baseball.
Or superimposed.
The baseball was CGI'd, even when they were holding it in their hands.
Yeah.
Which was
But that's
why.
It. All the running. So the running specifically, they ended up taking the bottom of a treadmill, putting it on a dolly, and they would have the actors just run at 12 miles an hour and then pull the treadmill.
And it looks really cool and natural.
Also really fast. It looks incredible.
It looks supernatural. Because they're both running and floating.
It's cool. They even did that with those 3 vampires that show up.
Oh yeah,
James,
you can see it. Laurent and
Victoria.
Oh shit, I shouldn't have known all of those.
You knew those
I'm
off
in.
the top of your head?
Yeah.
That's very impressive. I don't think they
I knew it was James and
introduced
Victoria.
Laurent in
Yeah,
this
I didn't
movie.
know.
Well, Laurent is my favorite character. We'll get to him later.
Okay, I guess I haven't seen any of the other ones. So
But yeah,
I
when they
would not
walk
know.
into the baseball scene, they're
also
walking and floating. So they're going like kind of fast, but like strolling really slow. Their legs are moving really slow.
It just looked wrong.
Yeah.
So once they establish, right, he runs up a hill to find the one ray of sunlight in Washington State, and then steps into the sunlight. And at that moment, vampires are neutered forever in the cultural consciousness. Vampires stop being cool or scary because they glitter.
Yeah.
And then he shows her all his cool tricks. He starts jumping off boulders and running really fast.
Oh my god,
and
this is an
sits in a
incredible
tree.
scene. He's getting really angry that she's like, I'm not afraid of you. Again, we don't know why she isn't or why
You
she's
should be
into it.
afraid. And he jumps off the boulder,
Flies onto a tree.
picks
like,
up like a branch, throws it.
can you
against
ever
another
outrun
rock.
me? Can you ever outstrength me?
I'm a killing machine.
And this whole time, they just get shots of her like turning around,
my
like
God.
looking up, and then they'll just cut to him like up in a tree, still holding the same conversation with her.
He never runs out of breath.
It's a good
So-
scene.
It's pretty incredible. We learn that yes, vampires are intense; they have to kill people. But his family is chill because they only eat animal blood. They don't kill people. And he has one of the greater lines in the movie where he's like, drinking deer's blood, it's like only eating tofu. It's never enough. Like, all right,
Never be satisfied.
fuck you,
Yeah,
vegans.
threw veganism right out the window. They're killing animals, and they say they don't matter. They're like, fuck the animals.
That's right.
Nothing compared to humans. And then B, never satisfied if you're not eating meat.
That's right.
That's right. Never satisfied. So, right. So, but now they are tight.
They are.
She is, in her words, she knows 3 things. He's a vampire. He's probably going to kill her. I'm paraphrasing, but she's like, he might lose control around me.
Might eat me.
And the third thing that I was
The third thing was, and I'm desperately
Irrevocably
irrevocably in love.
there was irrevocably, there's multiple like thesaurus words.
Yeah, it was.
She should not
She
be
needs to
using.
calm down with it.
It was like a 7th grade wrote this.
Yeah.
Just picked out the hardest words that
Yeah.
you conceptualize.
Thesaurus.com for I like this.
Irrevocable.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just say.
Unfathomable. So then they're totally in love. So now there's
Yeah.
like really no more romantic tension. So what they do in replace of that is that now his family, his vampire family, there's this tension of like, the vampires might eat her, and they're all worried. Like one of them, don't remember that woman's name, but her vampire character, entire character is just to be pissed off
Yes.
that her brother Edward is dating a human female.
Yeah, I don't like her.
And that's just it. There's tension there, and then there's other
She's dating
evil
her monkey
she's-
boyfriend.
Right, she's dating a boyfriend who at one point she refers to, that's my monkey man,
That is
Which
the
we
thing
might have-
she says.
which we might not have picked up on, except that Edward also calls Bella, he's like, strap in, spider monkey. And we're like, okay,
Yeah.
what is going on here? What kind of monkey fetish are you doing, Stephanie Meyer?
Stephanie, calm down.
Stephanie, please. So there's also these evil vampires
Yes.
who are the ones who've been killing people around town.
Do they have a name for like their group? Does that matter at all?
No.
Okay, never mind.
They're the
they-
Cullen family, they call the main people
Right,
just because
yeah.
they all hang out. But the other
Yeah.
guys don't have a
Okay.
group name. There's 3 brothers.
Three
In a van.
vampires.
3 vampires. How about, so obviously Edward's 1918, so he's just over 100 years old.
I think he's
At this
supposed to
point.
be. Oh, right. That's a great detail. The reason he became a vampire is that his vampire father, Carlisle, is a doctor and is a very good person, but is also a vampire. Could be a great drama that goes on there, but totally unexplored.
Honestly, good actor too. I liked the dad.
He was pretty solid.
Dad's pretty good.
honestly.
Maybe he'll be explored in the next movie. Oh, you
I'm not gonna- I'm
that
just
means
not
no.
gonna-
I think that means
They
no.
threw
I'm
that
not holding
out
out
the
hope.
window.
But so Edward is dying of the Spanish flu.
Yes.
Which is why Carlisle decides to give him eternal life. Random kid on the street is like, you know what?
Seems pretty cool.
I'm gonna. Did Carlisle do this for everyone dying of Spanish flu?
I think I don't know.
I don't know. They don't explore it. We were talking about when they remake this movie in 50 years, they might switch out Spanish flu
Yeah.
for COVID.
Here I was.
Here I was. It's
Sick with
2020.
the COVID.
I had Johnson and Johnson. It didn't
last
work.
I was done for.
But Carlisle gave me one more
Carlisle
chance.
bit my neck.
Give me the second dose.
Second
The rare second Johnson & Johnson dose.
The fabled Johnson and Johnson booster.
Immortal, faster, flying, stronger.
Gold skin.
Right.
Gold skin.
So-
Glitter mode.
Glitter is on. So after establishing that there's some vampire tension because, they're worried. How do they say it? They're like, if this all goes bad, it'll look bad on our family.
The whole family will be exposed somehow.
Somehow.
They don't really explore anything with that. Like the cops are not involved. The cops aren't suspicious.
I think they would have to move.
They're looking for the dead bodies, but they're like, we saw a human footprint, and that's the extent of how
It was headed east.
Yeah, that's as far as the law gets in this movie. They're not.
Yeah, the Cullens are never actually in any real danger of being
No.
exposed. They're just anxious, like everyone in the movie. If we're being honest. So it makes sense.
They did
in
mention
its
the
way.
Cullens were there, in the 1800s, and then
But then
they
they left.
apparently they left, and they just came back
Yeah.
a few years ago.
Yeah.
So maybe they just don't feel like moving again.
Okay.
I think
That's
it's like
kinda-
if Bella dies, she's like dating Edward, so it'll be like people would. I don't know. It doesn't quite make sense, but they're anxious
Yeah.
about having a human in the fold. And then Bella's like, because if this goes wrong, I'll be the meal. And then everyone just anxiously, and then they start going on.
yeah.
So the way this romance is broken down is there's lots of lines from Edward, like, as we said before, you're like a drug. You're like my own personal brand of heroin. Oh, yeah. He's constantly talking about how he can't control himself around her.
Yeah.
Which is why they can't like really like kiss or like be too close.
They
because
can't hook up for too
then
long.
they'll start
About
like getting
7
really
seconds.
feisty, and if they want to take it to the next level, then he'll just have to chomp her.
Yeah. I don't like that part of the movie, honestly.
I mean, I think that is the
vampires.
heart
Yeah,
of Stephanie Meyer's
That's-
thing.
yeah.
it's very sexual.
Like, yeah, I
But
know you want to
vampires
have
always been
sex,
like
but
that.
like you can't.
but you
will
can't.
die.
You'll die. That's
So-
that's the thing you're supposed to take away from this movie. is-
Yeah,
So-
family geared movie. It's good. Safe for the whole family.
So he talks about how he thinks of her as heroin. At one point, he talks about how he likes to watch her sleep. It's fascinating to him, and this whole time he's just kind of smiling, like really disturbingly.
Yeah.
Oh, the no bed scene in the room is great.
Yeah.
First of all, he has a really nice house.
Yeah,
Although Carlisle's been a doctor for 400 years, so
Yeah, so
hopefully he
he's-
made some money.
He
made
cured the
some
Spanish
money.
flu or something, right?
Yeah, with his teeth. And then he shows her his room. There's no bed. And then he's like, I don't sleep. She's like, okay. I don't know how this is going to work, but I guess you could just watch me while I sleep.
Oh man.
So what's amazing is that after having these really painful dialogue options, the filmmakers just kind of give up and have multiple montage sequences of them talking.
They do, yeah.
Hence, they have one in the tree. He's like, hop on, little spider monkey, and then flies up a tree.
Yeah.
And then they just have a drone shot of them talking at the top of a tree in the mountains in Washington.
No dialogue.
It's
You can't hear anything.
It's for the moments where like you've gotten past the small talk and like this is where the plot of the movie would
This
usually
is where you
happen.
get closer.
Where you learn about a person and they're like, we don't
But
know.
no, we just get the like travel small talk of, oh, here we go, and we're here. Let's have a deep conversation. Drone shot.
Drone shot.
They do it like 3 or 4 times. in this
Same
movie.
thing happens. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like, they start kissing, then they start really getting hot and heavy. Then he freaks out and flies off of her across the room. Like, you've never seen a man to change his mind, stick to abstinence that quickly. And he's like, I can't do it. And she's like, I'm sorry. It's like, girl, it's not your fault.
He's been on this earth for a long time.
He is 107, hasn't busted a nut in quite a long time.
Probably really long
Backed
time.
up.
Probably, yeah, it's not your fault.
Turning the crystals on his
Maybe.
skin.
And then again, they hop on the bed and have a montage of talking, which I'm sure like
Deep emotional stuff
deep
was probably
emotional
said.
stuff. Yeah, you're like, So anyway, eventually they're playing baseball, and the evil vampires show up and realize that there's a human in the mist, so they just have to kill her. So the
Yes.
final bit of the movie is this thriller where James, the bad boy vampire, is on the hunt to kill her. And it eventually leads her to being in a ballet studio in her hometown. And he's filming her, like, breaking her legs. It's really, like, kind of graphic.
He's, like, slowly killing
intense,
her and just, you know, pushing her around, throwing her around pillars,
into
windows.
Shattering, throwing her into pillars, and, like, mirrors are shattering.
She hits, like, a main artery at one point.
Yeah, her femoral artery is definitely hit. She's just bleeding out. But the good guys show up. The bad guy bites her, and then the good guys show up and rip apart the bad guy. I joke you not. They do
start a fire out of nowhere.
Yeah, start a bonfire out of thin air.
In the ballet studio.
Huge,
by the way.
Rip this dude apart out of focus so there's no blood or anything, and then just burn him. You're like, wow. And then
I love when they cracked his neck. They like pulled out his arms,
Yeah.
like Jesus on the cross, and then came up behind him and just fucking ripped his head off.
for a movie that's like so PG in every other way, suddenly they just had a lot of tension.
Yeah, that was a very violent scene.
So our homegirl has been bitten. She's turning into a vampire.
Yeah, she's
And
writhing
then-
on the floor.
Oh yeah, going cross-eyed. Homeboy shows up. They're like, only you can save her by
Which is why I don't know why.
sucking the
Reverse mode. dude.
Sucking
reverse,
the venom out.
reverse
Yeah.
vampire bite. The first one was, push. He is now full suck.
That's right.
Doesn't make any sense, but he has to bite her again to prevent her from becoming a vampire.
Yeah, aren't they? When a vampire bites you, isn't it already on suck mode?
Yeah.
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 I thought they only. Yeah.
Listen,
They said
Stephanie
Venom.
Myers is
Something
not a
about Venom.
vampire historian.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I take it back.
But it does make absolutely no sense.
Yeah. And she wakes up in the
She
hospital.
wakes up in the hospital. Her mother's there.
Her
She's
mom's like really cool with everything.
everything in the entire movie.
Yeah.
Mother's like, she's like, how did I get here? She's like, oh, honey, you fell down the stairs. And like we said,
Montage
they
of that.
flash to like
A
supposed-
fake- it's not what
memory,
happened.
a fake memory of her
Yeah.
falling down the stairs.
Is that her mom just thinking of that?
Yeah, they
She's
don't
like, this is
explain.
probably what you did.
But they film what's her name, Kristen Stewart, flailing down the stairs, and then to explain all the like broken glass cuts, they're like, and then you fell out a window, and then just her flying through solid glass. Absolutely incredible.
A thing that did not happen in the movie.
No, yeah. Also, imagined
Yeah.
memory. That's how her mother justifies how she's got multiple broken legs, multiple stab wounds,
And a large bite mark on
and
her wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah, you.
Ah,
Yeah,
and
just-
glass.
Also, randomly, your childhood ballet studio is just torn apart.
You were dancing so
You
hard,
danced
Bella.
so hard. It didn't make any sense.
You know,
Man was
remember that?
burned alive in your
Yeah, what about
dance
the
studio.
fire?
Yeah, we don't care about that though. And then we go to prom.
Yeah, there's some last minute tension where Edward is constantly like, I have to leave you because I'm getting you in danger. And she's like, no.
Never
and then he
say
goes-
that to me again.
He just didn't want to see her have a seizure, so he's like, okay.
He's like, all right,
we can hang out.
fine. We'll go to prom.
Fine.
And she's like, come on, just bite me. I'll be with you together forever. And he's like, no, isn't like life enough?
She goes, for now.
He's like, yeah, for now. We've got 4 other movies to catch up to.
Yeah,
that
we got
moment.
time.
Speaking of those other movies, got a little sequel bait here
With Victoria?
with that and then also Jacob.
Right, we
His-
haven't mentioned him at all.
Yeah.
I mean, he's such a.
barely in this movie.
He
barely
just shows
this
up in the
movie.
beginning, gives her a truck.
Oh, you gotta
which-
get into that.
Which he goes, oh yeah, I just rebuilt the engine.
I had to rebuild the engine for you, but we gave you this car.
Yeah, and he's like, make sure you double clutch. He should have just fixed that when rebuilding it. I mean, maybe it's an old car, so it doesn't have synchros. Who knows? But then she doesn't shift the car ever.
No.
Edward never shifts in the car again.
Correct.
The car is like backfiring the whole time, so I don't know what kind of rebuild this was. He gives her bald tires. Her dad had to get her new fucking snow tires,
Yeah.
and mentions they were bald before.
Yeah, this is the most incredible like continuity problem I've ever like been able to witness in a movie. Like watching it with someone who
Yeah.
knows about cars and is just like, they didn't get any of this right.
Yeah,
They
You
really
did not
fucked up.
rebuild the
Missed
engine.
the mark.
She does have the coolest car in school.
She does,
And
yeah.
she seems the most genuine during this moment when she gets the car.
Yeah,
She
happiest
gets
moment,
like actually excited. You could see it. In her
happiest
eyes.
moment in the movie. Not when she's hanging out with Edward.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah,
not.
it's this
Day one of
car.
filming.
It's day one of filming.
that's
And
my
this was after they
assumption.
asked her if she likes it. Like they were like, "Here's your car." She's like, "Okay." And they're like, "Do you like it?" She's like, "Yeah, I really like it."
It's a good scene.
It's nice.
So right, Jacob, as we know, currently is her childhood friend.
Yes.
And he's part of the Native American community that's in the like nearby the township.
Yeah.
And at one point, midway through the film, he tells her, "There's a legend where my tribe is descended from wolves, and we don't like the Cullens." And she's like, "Wait a minute, the Cullens are just moved here." And he's like, "They might have been here 100 years ago." And we're like, "All right, that's random."
Scene ends. Move on.
Yeah, all the fans of the book are like,
Forget
getting
it.
hyped about werewolves, but the rest of us are like, that was weird. And then at the end of the movie, he shows up to be like, "My dad asked you not to date your boyfriend," and she's like, "That's weird."
And he goes, "Yeah, it's kind of weird that he asked me to do that." Okay, see you later, Bella. Mentions he got paid by his dad.
He did, yeah. My dad gave me $20 to say to break up with your boyfriend. We'll be watching. Bye.
Whiskers.
Okay.
Honestly, so I love vampire movies. Interview with the Vampire, Dracula, Let the Right One In. Like, I'm all about kind of the morbidity and like the sadness and the dark stuff, like being a murderer and maybe you don't like the, like, that's all great. I love teen romance movies. 10 Things I Hate About You, best movie of the century.
Damn.
Whoa.
So, nah. But like,
It is really
it's
good.
incredible.
Damn.
So anyway, I like want somewhere in my heart of hearts to like really get into this. And it just like doesn't work on any level. Like there is no romantic spark between them. I mean, I guess they did date for a while, so there must have been. But
Yeah,
like,
they dated the whole saga.
the
They
whole
did?
time.
For real? I was not aware of that.
Yeah, the director told Patterson, he was like, "Hey, dude, so she's like, I think she was 17 when she started this. So it was like, he was like, she's 17, so
Give it a
don't
year.
try and date her." And then they
Jeez.
started dating like immediately.
How
like,
old was he at the time?
Maybe a little bit older.
Okay. Well, I mean, a little bit older is still kind of a problem in this specific instance.
Maybe.
If she's
They
17.
filmed in Oregon, so who
What does
knows?
that mean?
I think it's kind of a free for all.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, it makes the whole like Team Edward, Team Jacob thing kind of weird.
Yeah. Also, they don't seem to have any chemistry.
Yeah, they just look at each other with really intense eye contact, and they don't seem to ever enjoy each other's company.
Yeah.
But they can't be apart.
I think this is a script problem, honestly.
Probably first and foremost.
I mean, this dialogue is some of the most dog shit dialogue I've ever seen.
It's pretty bad.
It's so terrible. There's
I mean, the intro of her talking about how she's leaving Phoenix.
yeah.
He goes, "I'm gonna miss the heat."
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, at one point he's like, "Do you like the rain?" And then she has a whole like, "No, I don't like cold, wet,
Cold,
things."
wet things.
And
Yeah.
he's like, "Okay."
I'm a cold, wet thing, though.
Yeah. He's like, "Well, that's funny because you're a wet noodle."
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to definitely go downhill, but we also didn't start in a fantastic place. And I want people to be aware of that. This is not a good movie.
I mean, the melodrama is about to take a leap
Okay.
once they bring the love triangle in.
I haven't.
Because we've seen
Taylor
like
Lautner's gonna
maybe
get a haircut and fucking bulk up for 300 too.
Bro looks like he's still on the set of Camp Rock. This guy.
Yeah.
He's
he
walking
also
around.
looks young.
He does. He really
does look like
yeah.
a teenager. Most of the people
Don't
like Anna
at
Kendrick.
all.
Yeah, she's 25 for
Yeah.
sure, and that ain't a problem. But
Not a problem. All right. Well, should we start the second one?
Yeah.
Is Anna Kendrick in the second one?
Hopefully.
I hope so. I hope she stays around.
Maybe she'll die.
The Volturi are the closest thing my world has to royalty. They enforce the law.
Vampires have laws.
You're a human who knows entirely too much about us. They could kill us all.
You just don't belong in my world, Bella.
I belong with you.
This is the last time you'll ever see me. Please just promise me you won't do anything reckless.
It's like a huge hole has been punched through my chest.
I know what he did to you, but Bella, I would never, ever do that.
There's only one way I know to see him.
So, you're an adrenaline junkie now?
What the hell were you thinking?
Bella, it's Edward. He thinks you're dead.
What?
He's going to the Volturi. He wants to die too.
He left you, Bella. He didn't want you anymore.
I have to go.
He's gonna make a scene. The Volturi will kill him if he reveals himself in the sunlight.
No, Edward, don't!
I'm scared. This may hurt just a little.
No, please, please!
Well, that one's worse for sure. Andrew was walking away.
Andrew, already peaced out.
He's leaving. What'd you boys think?
Yeah, pretty rough.
I don't. There's not much redeeming in this.
The movie sucked.
Yeah.
The melodrama, they kind of crank it way up, but the pacing of the whole movie, just compared to the first one, slows down so much. There's just so much more angst over, and just only that. We're just like, man,
they're spitting some top level bullshit at each other.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's talking out of the side of their mouth. No one's saying what they actually feel. I hate everything about this movie. It's awful front to back.
It's pretty bad. I was excited about the whole dynamic where they fixed the motorcycles together. I'm like, oh,
I forgot
maybe
that
they'll
happened.
hang out. I know it seemed like a whole nother movie.
It was a long time ago.
I thought they were gonna hang out and like actually get super close.
Yeah.
And that just all fizzles out. I thought this whole movie was gonna be about Jacob only.
Well, it kind of is. All right, we have to go over the plot, or
Yeah.
else no one's gonna know what we're talking about.
That's true.
We
could spare them, but we won't. We'll tell you. We'll tell you what happened.
So we begin with Bella is very existentially angsty because
Yes.
she's turning 18 and she's worried that she's going to get
Too old.
Her first scene of the movie is she's dreaming about being an old woman, and Edward's still 17. And then she wakes up and it's her 18th birthday and she's just panicking.
She starts screaming in her bedroom.
Oh, that comes later.
Oh, that is later. You're right. Sorry.
But the screaming does begin.
Yeah.
So yeah, she has a whole day where she's just like, everyone's like, happy birthday. And she's like, don't say that. And you're like,
Don't give me
what?
presents.
What now?
I'm so old.
Jesus Christ. So, right. So she goes to celebrate her birthday with her vampire boyfriend.
Yes, and his family.
And his whole vampire family.
All the same people from the first movie.
All returning characters. We see Anna Kendrick for a second.
Briefly.
Very briefly. Not as charming this time around, but we'll get into that later.
Yes.
Right. So she's opening her birthday presents and like gets the worst paper cut of all time. Like slices her finger open, a full drop of blood falls out. And one of the vampire family, Jasper.
The newly vegan one.
Newly vegan. Yeah. Still wants the meat. Still wants
So
the
badly.
Whataburger.
Yeah.
He freaks out and
Getting the
goes
brisket right now.
into a frenzy. So what does Edward do?
Our hero
vampire throws Bella across the room into a coffee table, slices her shoulder open, then throws his brother Jasper into a,
like a grand piano.
grand mahogany piano,
Such
priceless.
a nice piano.
And anyway, the whole party's ruined because now Bella is bleeding all over the place, and everyone is like, starting to get hot and heavy.
Yeah, it's like throwing a dime bag of a bunch of recovered addicts in the middle of the fucking room. Be like, whoops.
Uh-oh.
Whoop.
Like, mission accomplished, Edward. So the next day, he's like, we're breaking up. My whole family's moving away. I will never see you again. And then she spirals into a very real depression. Honestly, the way they depict this is like pretty like realistic to how depression works.
They do directly copy the let's revolve around the main character and the seasons change thing from Pride and Prejudice.
They do indeed. Yeah. Camera spinning around Bella. They make sure in case you couldn't see that the seasons are changing, they also mention the months going by.
Yeah, it's a pretty on the nose way to do it.
They were saying they were worried about shooting that scene because in the book it's like labeled month by month. How she gets like sadder apparently. So in this one they were like,
I mean, it is a really complex she's sad moment.
She looks like she's on heroin. She's just staring. The usually emotionless Bella now is full marble statue.
Yeah.
So yeah, now she's kind of bummed out.
Very.
She's become an adrenaline junkie because when she does risky behaviors, she sees visions of Edward.
So I was confused by that. Are these visions, or is this another like vampire X-Men superpower that he can just show up?
I think it's visions.
I think it's all in her head.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. But because the visions are directly speaking about what's happening in this scenario.
Yeah, he's not like watching.
He's
her.
not like astral projecting.
He doesn't know what she's doing
Okay,
because he would have known that she didn't die at that point.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
So it is kind of confusing though,
Yeah.
because he does just kind of appear and respond to the situation at hand. She's gonna go hang out with some strangers on their motorcycles, and he's like, "Don't do this, walk away," and then vanishes in a puff of smoke. So she's doing that.
She's
Anna
rebelling.
Kendrick, she's rebelling, adrenaline junkie behavior. Anna Kendrick is incredibly judgmental about her depression. She's like, I mean, you're like all depressed and whatever, and it's like fine, but and you're like, dude, your friend needs help. What is your problem?
All of her
like, I'm
friends
sick of your
suck.
shit.
Her
'Cause
friends
as soon as she
suck.
comes back into the friend group, one of the dudes is like, "Oh, I see you're not sad anymore. You want to date me?"
Yeah. Oh, this first time you're talking, major breakthrough after 9 months. Yo, let's go out.
Yeah.
He's asking her out in front of Anna Kendrick, his former girlfriend who he took to prom. So there's just all sorts of
They never showed them breaking up either, so it's kind of funny because
Yeah.
she's still at the lunch table watching him ask her out, and then they all go to the movies together.
Yeah, really fucked up. But one of Bella's coping mechanisms is she starts hanging out with her childhood buddy, Jacob. Taylor Lautner.
Jacob.
And that's when she buys some motorcycles for them to fix up,
Right.
so that she can take her risky behavior to the next level.
That's right.
Which I don't want to speed over the motorcycle bit, but as soon as they get these things working, she speeds away on one of these things without a helmet.
And Jacob's cool with it.
Yeah, they're all like
he knows about motorcycles, and obviously he's been riding, so I don't know why he goes, yeah, let's teach her on a full-size dirt bike with no helmet. And he goes, here's the clutch, here's the gas, just let go of the clutch slowly. All right, good luck.
And then she rips away, flips over, hits her head on a boulder.
Yeah, she would have
Pretty
died.
bad, yeah.
Like that's a you died moment.
That was it. So while they're hanging out, this is like a good, 40 minutes right in the middle of the movie. They become best friends, and he gets really hot.
He does.
There's a moment right when she hits her head on the boulder and her head starts bleeding. He pulls off his shirt, reveals how I was telling you guys while we were watching the movie. I remembered opening night when I saw this with a theater full of teenage girls. That was the big cheer moment.
That was the moment.
We see the Marvel movies today, and there's moments where everyone starts getting crazy. That was it. Taylor Lautner pulls off his shirt. Everyone lost it. It was incredible.
That's incredible.
Yeah, she's bleeding on the ground, and he goes, I got this.
Here, hold on. I'm hot now.
Yeah. And then, she's just staring at his abs and is like, "You're beautiful." That's not quite what you mean.
That's
all
a
right.
line in this movie. You're kind of beautiful.
You're kind of beautiful.
And then she says, yeah, Jacob, he's like kind of a werewolf now.
Yeah, very
Man.
very non-committal, that Bella.
I think he is a werewolf, Bella.
He is 100% a werewolf. You've seen it happen.
Yes.
But right, so they're hanging out. He's her best friend, basically, at this point. But he's also very hot, so there's that's where the tension is.
Right.
So there's none of the immortal romance tension she has with Edward, but he's he's a homie. She's very comfortable around him, and he's sexy as shit.
And he's smoking hot.
Smoking hot.
Dude,
Yeah.
and you know how they
Literally.
film these back to back?
Yeah.
They started filming this one the day after the theatrical release of the first one happened.
A day after?
The day after the first one was released in theaters, they started working on the second one. So he gained 30 pounds of muscle between that time.
Holy shit.
Whoa.
So he rapped,
That's insane.
worked out for 3-4 months,
Yeah.
and then was what you see in the second film.
That's wild.
Because they were going to push him out.
Yeah.
The second director was just like, no, we're going to get someone who's buffer. And he's like,
I can be buff.
I can be buff. He just got ripped in no time.
Oh, man.
Oh, Taylor.
Taylor.
You can't act, but
You can't act.
you do
but
have abs.
He has abs. He's kind of endearing, but again, he can't act. So yeah, they're getting tight. And then he's, as we said, he's getting hot, but then he also starts getting physically hot. At one point, he's worried because all of his, friends from his Native American like family, they're all starting to hang out with their shirts off and do risky manly behavior, and he's not about it.
Jumping off cliffs.
Yeah.
Not okay. And then suddenly he starts getting angry out of nowhere, threatens to kill one of her friends
Goes through
for being
puberty,
weak.
That didn't make any sense.
Make
Also,
any sense. Yeah, it's
this dude started throwing up because they were watching like a weird action film
right.
with people getting shot.
And yeah.
So could he just not handle that?
I guess so.
It was very
weak stomach.
strange. So Taylor Lautner starts acting funny. One thing leads to another. Eventually she finds him and now he's not wearing his shirt. She's like, "You've changed." And then she realizes it's because he's a werewolf. And we spend another 30 minutes finding out the backstory of like werewolves are genetically like, it's in the genes. You're genetically a werewolf. You're not bitten into one.
But not
and then
all of them.
Not all of them turn into it. And you only get activated when there's vampires around.
I want to be very clear. There's 30 minutes of plot describing what's going on with werewolves. This is all we got from it.
Yeah.
This is all we could glean from.
We don't know
30
where
minutes
it started.
of film.
Yeah.
We don't know the origin.
We don't even remember. Did that old guy die?
Right. Yeah. There's an old guy.
He had a heart attack.
He has a heart attack.
Went to the hospital. That's about it.
That was like the leader of the tribe.
Maybe of the reservation. I don't think
Yeah.
he's a werewolf though, because maybe he didn't get lucky with the gene. Maybe he is a werewolf.
Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows? Not specified.
Not specified.
They don't clarify anything about this.
Yeah.
But eventually we get back to Edward, right? At this point.
Almost. So first, there's all sorts of stuff. Jacob now, as in werewolf form, is both protective of her, like Edward was, because there's one of the bad vampires from the first movie / best actor in the entire series so far,
Yes.
Laurent. I don't know that actor's name, but he's the one guy who acts like you want a vampire to act. He's like actually smooth and sophisticated and creepy. He shows up, creepy for one scene, then they kill him off. You're like, great, this is already going downhill. So we have a new level of protective boyfriend, but also he's like, we're dangerous, us werewolves. Like if I get mad, I could just take you out.
I could just kill you
I
at
could just
any
kill
moment.
you. So it's like, all right, Stephanie Meyer's like, men are monsters. They'll either get overexcited and impregnate you or just get angry and beat you up. I don't know. I mean, it's fucked.
I don't really know what's like the point.
I don't understand.
I don't know why.
Also, I love that the vampires are the cold ones, and then we brought up all the werewolves are like burning hot. They specify they're like 108 degrees. I mean, series could just be called Hot and Cold.
Hot and Cold.
It would also describe the
color.
the emotional ranges, the way that everyone it's so deeply in love and then breaks up a moment later.
I saw an article where they were trying to be like, oh, Twilight's genius, how they play with color. Like first, it's really cold and blue because it's Edward's side, he's the cold one, and then it's hot because it's the second one. And then you read into it's just different directors, different
different
DPs,
cameras,
everything's just different about it. So like later on, they do play with it apparently. Where it's like, oh, a little bit more blue for
This
vampires.
is because whoever was making the movie read this dumb article.
Yeah.
Like, we should do that.
Yeah, we should do it
We
now.
weren't thinking about how to make the movie.
But the first one is
but maybe we should.
super blue. They showed a little flashback from the first one, just like back to back.
Well, I think that was specifically color corrected.
I don't know.
No, I don't think that was the original movie.
I don't know.
It was like super blue.
The first movie was definitely blue, but that was definitely like they put a gradient over it.
Well, just everyone looks pale, not just the vampires.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Bella, who comes from Phoenix, Arizona, is like pure porcelain.
Mm-hmm.
Not great.
No, I didn't like this movie.
No, yeah, there's just a whole lot of angst as she's like, because she's doing her risky behavior.
I'm trying to parse in my brain what happens for that hour.
In the middle, nothing
happens.
She's doing this behavior because she can see Edward, but now she's sort of getting close with Jacob.
Yeah.
And then she does
the whole Aro thing or what?
Well, we're getting to there. She does this big risky behavior where she jumps off a cliff.
Right.
Cliff jumping. And then her vampire friend, Alice, who can see in the future, sees her jump off a cliff. So she thinks she's dead. And this is where they go full Romeo and Juliet, or they try to, which also they reference in the beginning of the movie. So they're trying.
It starts with that.
They're trying to make this feel like Romeo and Juliet.
And Bella gets pulled out of the water by
Jacob.
No.
Victoria's
No.
Victoria's
Victoria
in the water.
pulls her out.
No. She sees Jacob.
Victoria jumps off the cliff to get away from Jacob and the wolf pack because they're chasing her down.
Yeah.
ironically, at the same time, Bella decides to jump off a cliff and maybe kill herself or just go.
I know what you're talking about.
Adrenaline. She's looking for adrenaline, but for some reason
Why is it
she's
at the
around the same
time?
cliff. I don't know. And it's also the same cliff.
Okay.
It also makes no sense.
Yeah. Victoria is there. She does not save her.
Yeah.
At the end of that scene,
Okay.
he's pulled her out. You see Victoria in the water watching them. She did not. She
Okay.
didn't save her.
I thought Victoria threw up on the beach and Jacob was just there.
Hanging.
But I don't know.
No.
All sorts
Who cares?
Victoria would have killed her.
Oh, yeah. So a full thing happens because Alice, the one who can see the future, thinks she's dead. So she comes. It's not even worth repeating how this confusion happens.
Yeah.
But basically, Edward believes she's dead. And the only way he can kill himself is by going to Italy, where these other vampires, some of whom are played by Dakota Fanning, are hanging out and ask them to kill him. And when they don't, then he has to expose himself to the human world. And then they have to kill him because it breaks vampire law.
The Valtteri is the name of the group.
Yeah.
So Aro. Is it Arrow?
Aro.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole thing I didn't understand about, because they could read each other's minds, right?
Well, they all
like
have
Alice
they all
and
have
Edward.
different powers.
Yeah.
I
But
think.
like
all the
Edward
vampires have different
can
powers.
kind of know what Alice is thinking. Because she mentioned that straight up.
It is so vague and they're not being consistent that I don't think they can all read each other's mind, but the movie does not know that.
I mean, at one point, Alice goes,
They're just saying random
it has
shit.
to be you, Bella, that goes to save him because Edward's going to know that I'm coming because he can read my thoughts.
But he'll think I'm lying in my thoughts and he'll kill himself
So
anyway.
he knows what she's thinking.
I don't.
So
I
I
don't
don't think
get it.
Alice told Edward specifically that Bella's dead. He just read Alice's mind and was like, oh no, Bella's
she
dead
must be
because-
dead.
I didn't want us to get into this because it is more complicated and more stupid than that. The annoying Rosalie vampire girl tells Edward that Alice is going there. So he's like, oh, is something wrong? And he calls Bella's house and Jacob answers the phone and says her dad's arranging a funeral and then hangs up. That's how it happens.
I hate
see.
this movie.
I see.
This movie sucks.
Yeah, there's just a
terrible.
full like extra 40 minutes at the end where she has to save Edward from killing himself, Romeo and Juliet style, and then they have to talk to the bad vampires for like 30 minutes.
I wanted like a battle or something.
They
Is it
almost
going to be
do
the
it.
next
It just
movie or
ends.
what?
No, I've been told that every time there's supposed to be a fight in this series, they just talk it out.
Oh my god.
The end of this movie.
That could have been the good part of this film. There's no real fighting
nothing
in here.
No.
changed in this movie. At the end of it,
Yeah, they're back together.
they're back together, but
Well, they're
he
avoiding
doesn't
the
want to
Voltaren.
bite her.
Well, he will after she marries him.
Yeah.
That's
what
what
we
happened.
established. They're gonna get married now.
They're gonna put a ring on it, and then he'll bite her, so they can be together. But now
So,
there's a new angle because
Are they coming back to Forks then?
I think so.
All of them. Yeah. That makes sense.
And the
And
town's
then-
just going to be cool with that.
the werewolves won't let vampires bite people. So when Edward bites Bella, there's probably gonna be a war. But again, they're probably gonna just talk their way
Well,
through.
because Jacob's gonna want to kill her now because she's
right.
gonna be a vampire.
It's gonna be all sorts of tension. It's dumb.
But I don't care. I don't care. Okay. Well,
I know I brought this up earlier in the movie, but like I just kind of wish, first movie they introduced the vampire, this one they introduced the werewolf. Like I just wish they just introduced a different
That would be
creature
dope,
every
yeah.
Next movie she dates a unicorn.
oh,
Next movie
And then they
there's
all
a
battle.
Yes.
mermaid. Yeah, just new lover with a new set of problems.
A mermaid.
Merman.
you can't stay in the water, you'll drown. I want to though.
But I want to swim with you. I remember seeing this as a, teenager and being like, I just kind of wish Bella wasn't in this. Like, if this was just straight up underworld, like werewolf falling in love with vampire, so much better.
This
Just-
is what
just cut out the middle.
This is what the dark universe should have been. we should get rid of the Tom Cruise Mummy movie and just convert the Twilight franchise into the dark universe.
Yeah, mummies, Frankenstein's, vampires,
We
werewolves.
don't need that shit. I
Fairies.
Frankenstein don't need that.
Not important.
No. Well,
This was a slog.
this was a
Tough one.
this was the worst movie I think.
What do you
we've
think it
watched
was
on
rated
Marathon so
on
far.
Rotten Tomatoes?
worse than Transporter 3.
Ooh,
What-
yes.
What do you
I
think?
think so.
What do you think they rated the first one on Rotten Tomatoes?
feel
I
like
think
These
they're all in
probably-
the 50s. I think they're all in the 50s.
I don't know, man.
Are you looking at critic review or audience review?
First one is 50s. I think this one might have been 30s.
Okay, because I know audiences love these.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
some people
I mean,
love
I'm
these.
sure. So
It has a
for
fan base.
49, audience
Okay.
score 73 for the first one. That makes sense.
That's yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay.
And then New Moon.
I didn't hate the first one, honestly.
No, I like
it
the
was
first one.
consistently entertaining. This
Yeah.
one just
This one,
Damn, this
Slog.
was a 28
that
Damn.
checks out.
with a 61 audience, which is pretty low for like such a, I wouldn't say it's a cult film, but like such a huge following at
definitely
the
a
time.
huge
Yeah.
following.
You know?
yeah.
I feel like this would be a lot lower if it didn't have a built-in fan base.
Mhm.
Like, there's not.
Oh, if this was the
Yeah.
first one, the
Yeah, if this was the
standalone?
first
No,
one,
it would have never worked.
no one would have
No
been
way.
down for this. But
What were we going into?
That's
I
a-
feel like
yeah.
I've heard that Eclipse is
Eclipse?
supposed to be better.
Do you want to know the
if
percentages?
this
on that?
podcast has done anything for the world, it's proof that third sequels are not good.
No. So it's funny because it's 2008, 2009, 2010 for this one.
Jeez.
It's rated higher, 48, and
Okay.
then 60%, so even lower in audience. So it's probably going to be on par.
About the same. All right.
We'll
Well,
see.
And we get a new director once again because
Right.
apparently when they wrapped the second one, they started filming the third one immediately after they wrapped filming. So when they were like, "Hey, are you going to direct the third one?" He goes, "We still got to do post-production." So no, I can't do both.
this is not a real series of movies. This is
So
a
they got a
cash grab.
third director.
Who is this director?
Yeah, who is
For
We
this?
what?
can find this out for the next bit.
So Chris Weitz was the one before for the
Right.
second one.
Okay.
And then you want to know David Slade.
David Slade's coming up in the third one. What else has
He's
David done?
Black Mirror, Bandersnatch.
Really?
That
Wow.
movie.
That's the Choose Your Own
director.
Adventure.
Yeah. So
Really?
And then before that, he did Hard Candy, 30 Days of Night. I don't know any of those. He's done a ton
I've
of
heard of
music
30 Days
30 Days
videos.
of Night is a huge vampire film.
Okay, so maybe that makes
More
sense.
horror.
That's 2007.
okay, I'm
So that's
actually-
like 3 years before this. That makes sense.
This
He's
guy sounds
done-
like a real director.
So many music videos.
Ah, well,
Like big music videos.
Okay, we're
Stone
fine.
Temple Pilots, POD.
like currently he does a lot of music videos.
He did The
POD.
Killers. He looks like he did like real
Mid
big
2000s.
budget.
Okay.
Mid 2000s.
That's pretty dope. This guy sounds cool.
Yeah, and then he
Yeah.
did a lot of good television like Black Mirror, Hannibal.
He did Hannibal. I love
episode
Hannibal.
1, 3. Yeah, like the
I
good
love
ones.
Hannibal.
And
Hannibal's so
then
good.
He also did one episode of Breaking Bad.
Okay.
Well, let's keep in mind who's writing the next one because that's been the
Oof.
real killer so far.
You want to know who's been writing these?
I'm very curious. Well, okay. We've been putting him on blast for
Actually,
about the last 4 hours.
Melissa Ann Rosenberg has written all 5 of the screenplays.
Okay.
So we are in for it.
Sorry,
is the
Melissa.
verdict.
What is
sorry,
Melissa
but
doing?
we're not.
Just Twilight.
Just Twilight. That checks out. All right, let's get into the third one. Here we go.
Here we go.
And then just a bunch of TV that I don't know about. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's about it.
Well, I'm excited.
Oh,
for
she
this
wrote
one.
some of
I'm excited
Dexter.
for this one. I'm excited to have a new director.
Yeah, haven't seen this one yet either. I'm in uncharted
Alright.
waters.
Hell yeah. Let's do it.
Take a look.
Isabella Swan, I promise to love you every moment forever.
She's still human. The Volturi don't give second chances.
Why are you so against me becoming like you?
I know the consequences of the choice you're making. After a few decades, everyone you know will be dead.
You wouldn't have to change for me, Bella. I'm in love with you, and I want you to pick me instead of him. You have to consider the idea that I might be better for her than you are.
Edward. She found us.
I'll protect you, no matter what.
You don't know what you're getting yourself into.
fight for you until your heart stops beating.
All right. Well,
Yeah, way better. I'm gonna
Much
call it
better.
right
Yeah,
now.
Eclipse, much better than New Moon. Got to put that out there.
At least we're kind of moving along here.
I know. I will say I do kind of feel just like lost, like in a fog.
I feel like we're like caught in a loop and nothing has progressed.
Yeah, but we got to see a big battle.
We did. There's finally a battle in this one.
There was some real violence. I was pretty satisfied myself.
I mean, the whole crystal
Yeah.
thing. We haven't talked about how they crack.
That's
Yeah.
Explode.
another feature of these vampires, I guess, is
Yeah.
that they're made
They're
out of
totally
crystals.
bloodless, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're made out of crystals and they shatter.
They shatter,
When you
and then
rip
you
them
still
apart.
need to burn them afterwards.
Right.
And they go up like nobody's business, like
Yeah,
the 4th of July.
you threw a
Yeah.
Zippo on one, right on the jacket, immediately lit up like a bonfire.
Wow.
Right.
I hated this. I hate this series so much.
That's funny. I'm in. I'm
Okay,
totally
really?
Yeah, it's not bad. The last one, I started having serious doubts if I could continue on all the way.
I just don't like I don't like any of these characters.
Alice is really cool.
Yeah.
But it's a minor character though. Like I'm talking about the main three. These
They're
main
okay.
these main three all are the worst people.
Jacob's pretty bad.
pretty bad.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could be Team Jacob. I just don't understand.
But you're on Team Jacob.
Am
Oh,
I?
no, I see. You don't know how you could be Team Jacob. I
No,
understand
no,
that.
I am not on Team Jacob.
You're Team Edward?
I'm Team Alice.
I'm Team Alice.
I was Team
I
Laurent.
didn't know Alice was
What's
a
the name?
choice here.
What's the
Come
name
on.
of the jock vampire?
That's your boy.
That's
Emmett.
my guy. I'm Team Emmett.
Team Emmett.
Emmett can fuck off. I could care less.
I
about
like
it.
Emmett.
I like Alice the best, but if I have to choose between Edward and Jacob, obviously Edward.
Yeah, Team Edward. All the way.
Really? I mean, they.
What do you like about Jacob?
I don't
That
like
he's
either of them.
shirtless?
I just
Well, we have to make a
we
choice.
have to make a choice.
Yeah.
Fuck. I liked the boring guy that was in the second movie that threw up during the movie.
You like that guy?
Yeah, don't know that guy's name.
Yeah.
Anna Kendrick's Leftovers
Anna
is his
Kendrick's
name.
Leftovers.
All right, real quick. We'll talk about quickly the plot of this one.
Yeah.
It was kind of a
It will
bog.
not take very long to go through.
So thankfully, compared to New Moon, which is just a bog, just a swamp
Yeah.
of many scenes of
Jesus
angst with no real like push forward, this one actually has like a driving motivation.
This one's better.
It
this
starts-
one's a lot better. I think it's objective. I think it's a bad movie, but it is much better than the last one. More stuff happens for sure.
So we start with Victoria, who
Yes.
we will remind our listeners who do not know, is the former lover of James, the villain from the first movie who got ripped apart. She's
Right.
wanted to
Main plot, yeah.
She's wanted to get vengeance on Bella and Edward for killing her lover, who brought his damnation on himself. But you know, it's
Yeah.
all right. People very passionate in this series.
She kind of she tried last movie, didn't really make any progress.
Right, yeah. She
But
just
this
kind of ran
movie,
around.
She's here. She's the main villain of this one.
She's creating a vampire army in Seattle. They're just biting people who bite more people, and they're all just ravenous, kind of
Just quick
flipping cars over, just causing chaos.
That was weird. There's a scene where it just goes in absolute chaos. People getting ripped out of a car that's upside down on fire.
This
and
is
the main vampire who's like kind of going off Victoria's orders and creating this army is like, calm down, everybody. You got to control yourselves. And they're all like, no, we're super strong. We're thirsty.
We're thirsty. This is Biden's America, and we're
we're
rioting.
immortal. Like, come on.
So she's creating a vampire army, inexplicably to go after Bella. We'll talk about this in a second. That Bella is the center of everything. So, cut to Bella. Last movie ended with her promising to marry Edward, but now her homeboy Jacob's around, and everyone realizes they have to protect Bella because this vampire army
is ridiculous
is coming for her.
that many people are just protecting one person.
Really, I mean, it comes down to this all of the melodrama of this series is just that everyone in the world like loves Bella. A couple people hate her, which causes more drama, but otherwise everyone's like, we have to protect
The world
her.
revolves around Bella.
There's no
Yeah.
like existing
universe.
conflict. There's no existing
And
conflict.
she creates all of the
Yeah.
conflict.
Like even
Because of her.
the vampires and the werewolves were not fighting each other.
No,
Yeah,
the
they're totally
Voltari
chill.
were cool.
Yeah, everyone was chilling until
Yeah.
She's not even doing
And
anything.
she's not, yeah.
She's just there.
We were talking about this woman, Bella Swan, has like no aspirations in life.
No hobbies.
No
She
hobbies.
doesn't
like music.
Yeah.
They established
Doesn't
that in the
care
second movie.
about
He's like, you want to listen to music?
films.
She's like, no,
I don't
really
like
music. You're like,
He
whoa.
said, I don't really like music. He's kind of a werewolf. Okay. All right, Bella.
Okay,
Yeah, she has nothing going for her. She wants to
Nothing.
become a vampire just so she can love her dude for all time.
Right.
And she's just famous because her dad in town.
Yeah,
yeah,
right. The rest
I
of the
don't
town
even
knows
know.
who
You
they
know?
are, yeah.
Her dad's not like doing anything special even. He's just like a local cop.
He's a chief and he's been there for a while, but he's not like a hero.
Yeah.
But everyone treats her special because they're like, oh my God, Bella, I remember you from when you were a kid and you used to come here.
But
And you're
why?
like,
What did
wow.
they didn't say what she did.
Yeah.
They weren't like, wow, you were like super gifted or like really fun to be around. They're just like, I remember you. You existed.
And then she's like, I don't remember.
Yeah,
you.
every person.
She's like,
she
I
goes,
don't exist.
Whatever.
I want to die. She keeps saying at the beginning of every movie in monologues.
Dying wouldn't be so bad if I had a boyfriend.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Who is this for? I know who
This
this is for.
14-year-old girls.
Yeah, we have 14-year-old girls who also want to be the center of the universe and have two hot dudes battling for her at all times.
Dude.
Oh my God.
So really, there's no more plot that we need to tell
Yeah,
you.
there's
But,
nothing
but this
happens.
setup creates a million scenes that are now totally congealed in my brain of just like Bella and Edward are already kind of upset about something. And he's like,
Yep.
he's going through the same motions. He's like, I don't want you to get hurt. He's like, I want to help. And he's like, but I can't be with you. Over and over again. And then Jacob shows up shirtless out of nowhere and is like,
Every time.
why are you guys arguing? I would be better for her. And this just repeats for
He
2
keeps showing
hours.
up everywhere.
Yeah,
Shirtless.
constantly in the woods, outside her house, inside her house. Like Jacob is constantly appearing, angry.
And she keeps asking Edward permission if they can like hang out or do certain things. The most ridiculous scene in the tent.
This is incredible,
Oh
right?
my
So
God.
they're trying to hide Bella in the mountains while the vampire. All right, so because of this war with the vampire army,
Yes.
our good vampires have to team up with the werewolves, which has never been done before.
Yeah.
And it's a big deal, but then they get through it
Yeah.
pretty quickly.
There's one like training
Oh
montage.
no! Stop.
Terrible training montage. He's like, I'm going to teach you everything about fighting vampires.
Watch your back. No one will
then-
be on your team.
Yeah, he was a major in the Civil War.
If you've ever
I'm on
wanted,
the wrong side.
And he developed an accent after they show us his backstory.
This is one of the good
Right.
vampires.
Jasper.
Jasper, who's been in the other movies, did not have an
Good
accent.
accent.
Gives his backstory, immediately has a Texas accent.
But
for
his
the rest of the
backstory
movie.
is cool.
Yeah, they do go into a couple backstories.
They do,
Also with Rosalie. And I actually enjoyed those a lot because they're kind of sad,
Yeah.
kind of angsty. I was like, all right, we're filling in the universe. They fill in the backstory with the werewolves too. They're like, yeah, our people were like attacked and like slaughtered.
No,
so
all
we
that was
gotta-
cool.
All of that, I was like, all right, this is emotional. I'm having fun.
Yeah.
But leading back to the tent in the woods, while the battle's going on, everyone's got to keep Bella safe because God...
I don't know why everyone
Yeah.
is on board with this.
God
got super
forbid
blood or
anything
some shit.
happens to Bella. So they're hiding her in a tent on top of a freezing mountaintop. I want you to picture Lord of the Rings, like
It's snowing.
and she's just dying in the tent, literally. So,
And then Edward obviously is in a t-shirt because he's cold.
or right, yeah,
All
Edward
good.
the vampire doesn't feel anything, and he can't do anything.
And then
for
Jacob's
her.
just hanging out outside shirtless for a while.
Yep.
And he comes in the middle of the night into the tent and he goes, what's going on?
I can hear your teeth chattering.
And she can't sleep.
So he's like, "Here, let me warm you up." Hugs her shirtless. And he's
This
like,
would be
"Just-"
faster if you were naked, he says.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
man.
messed up.
Jesus
And then there's like
Christ.
a 10-minute scene. Bella falls asleep in shirtless Jacob's arms, and
Yep.
then Jacob and Edward have it out where they're like, like, I know you'd be good for her, but I still love her. And it's just like, they basically repeat that like, over and over again.
And over.
Yeah.
That's what they've been doing this whole movie.
And Jacob's constantly
just
just
shows
like,
up
you'd
and he
be
goes,
bad for her. And Edward's like, I know, but it's her choice. And they're like, but you'd be bad, but I hate you. And you're like, I know,
But I hate
but
you.
I like you, or we could be friends in another life. He's like, but I hate
And
you.
he's
It's
like,
just,
I'm going to warm her up. And he's like, okay.
that's not good.
It makes me want to die. It's so awful.
Oh, and then in the morning, he gets upset. Jacob gets upset because Edward ended up telling Jacob that they're going to get married. And
Right.
Bella's like, are you kidding me? Why did you tell Jacob? And
Right.
Edward's like, I mean, he's gonna have to know eventually.
Bella's just constantly, everyone's just blaming their problems on everyone else around them.
But it's all just Bella.
Yeah.
It's all Bella's fault. And then her decision after that was to kiss Jacob to like just keep the peace.
Yeah,
To keep the weird
to keep the triangle
going.
alive.
Jacob's like,
Yeah.
I'm done with you. You know, like you've really hurt me this time. And she's like, oh no, what can I do?
Kiss me.
Kiss me. And they make out. And then Edward is like 100 feet away and is just listening to Jacob's thoughts.
Yeah.
Which are probably like, oh my God, I'm finally making out with her.
Yeah. Or just screaming in horny, ecstatic pleasure. And
Yeah.
Edward's like, I can only guess what that means.
He really wasn't that mad after that.
Yeah, he's like, you love him. And she's like, yeah, but I love you more.
So he goes, okay, whatever.
He's like, yeah, sure.
That works out for now.
I'll put the ring on it.
Which he did at the end of the film.
They followed through. I also like that
Wait, so are they married now, or is that like
that's going to happen in the next movie.
Okay.
We've been. Oh my. Come on, guys. we don't have to space it out over 3 movies.
Yeah.
We could have done all of this in one movie.
Well, it took probably 3 books to do all that.
I don't care.
There's a lot of great, and by great I mean hilariously dumb setup and payoff in this movie.
Yeah.
Like Jacob saying, I need you to kiss me is set up earlier in the movie. He tries to kiss her and she's like, fuck you. And he's like, all right, I won't kiss you again until you ask me to. And you're like, well, I know you're gonna create a reason for this, but fuck that. So then she does, and you're like, oh, you have no spine, Bella. And then later in the like werewolf tribal backstory, they're like, the vampires almost won, but then the main love interest of the greatest warrior killed herself because by spilling blood, it made the vampires distracted, and then the werewolves won. And then they bring that back at the end of the movie. Edward's about to die.
Right.
So what does Bella do? She just slits her wrist. Like, what kind of message are we sending to the teenage girls in America?
No.
You slit your wrist, you get more attention.
And literally
Who allowed
you get
this
the
to
attention.
happen?
And then the bad guys both stop what they're doing and look at her, and they're like, oh my God. It's like, can you imagine an actual battlefield? Someone's like, I've got Whataburger.
They're like, what? We're going in.
Distraction.
Oh my God.
Achieved.
Yeah, there's a lot of dumb stuff. And I mean, I wouldn't say too much happened as far as moving the plot forward.
No, it was all angst.
Victoria
They
died,
almost had sex at
which
one
is-
point, and then again, he was like, I can't.
Okay,
yet.
so at the end of the second movie, Bella and Edward were together, and they
And they're
were
gonna get
about to
married.
get married.
He said, will you marry me? And she gasps, and then it ends.
At the end of the third movie,
He put a ring on
he
her.
put a ring on her finger.
And they made a date. Don't forget.
Oh,
Save the date.
Okay. Cool.
Listen, I don't know if you've been engaged, but it takes a lot of time and prep for these sort of things.
I don't want to watch a movie about it, though.
Well, you're going to watch 5, so.
Yeah, well, we got 2 more.
Oh, my God. Speaking of the 2 more, the last 2 are, it's a 2-parter.
Yes, it's the last book. the
Harry
4th
Potter
one.
move on this last one here.
Yeah.
So let's see the rating on this one.
Okay.
And it is a different, the next 2 are directed by the same person.
Okay.
So we'll check that out.
I'm assuming it's one of these deals where they just film both of them at the same time and release it.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the first part's going to end on a cliffhanger, quote unquote.
Oh boy. I wonder if it could be anything more interesting than what's happened. I would love that.
I'm just excited for this CGI baby. I've heard so many things about.
Actually, let's talk about that.
The
wolf,
CGI
the
baby?
CGI wolves.
They look
really
good.
good.
Pretty solid.
That's a positive thing to say about this movie. The CGI
Well,
wolf
because they went from practical
look
effects,
really good,
which were amazing for the first few.
Yeah.
They're still using some practical effects.
totally. Yeah.
But yeah, the CGI overall, I don't see any negatives anywhere.
It's been. I mean, the last
It's been
one,
solid.
the crystal shattering looks pretty good. I didn't have. Yeah.
It's a weird decision to make them crystal
and shatter.
Yeah.
But that's that.
But then they are able to
Yeah.
rip people's heads off and keep the movie, like, what, PG-13?
Yeah. I think these are all
True.
PG-13. Yeah.
Because at one point, you know how they ripped off James's head in the first one, and they didn't show it at all. It was like out of
Right,
focus,
yeah, it
you
was
know.
all out of focus.
And then in the second one, you actually saw like
Yeah.
People getting their necks broken and
straight
stuff.
up. So that was cool.
Listen, one point I just want to make is that
Yeah.
in spite of the fact that we all can agree that we all think this is stupid,
Totally.
we all know like most of these characters' names, and we're like choosing teams, and we know who the Volturi are. Like on a certain primal level, like we are getting roped in, and that is
true.
something to notice.
That's
No,
fair.
I'm pretty roped in. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. Well,
I want to know what's
reasonably,
going to
yeah.
happen.
I want to see this resolved.
I'm excited.
I do.
Yeah, I'm excited for it to.
I just
to
know
go
there's going to be
over.
a whole
Yeah.
baby situation involved, and it gets even more cucky.
More cucky.
You know,
So
it's
the
like,
baby situation is fucked.
Yeah,
I'm not going to
it's-
spoil it for you. but-
Okay.
I do remember some really messed up.
I'm excited to know how this ends. I'm not excited for the experience of learning.
Excited for when you wake up tomorrow morning. And
I'm
it's all
excited for
over.
the knowledge to be in my brain. Were you able to find the ratings of these last two, Andrew?
I'm going in. 2011 is Dawn Part 1. Got a 25%.
Oof.
Okay.
60% audience score, which is on par with the last two we saw.
I feel like you can't trust an audience score on movies like this when that's
Yeah.
such a big cult
Cult
following.
That means this one's going to be really bad.
Okay.
Yeah, 25 is right where New Moon was. So
And that's
Well, it is also, I don't know. Critics tend to hate these first part of a two-parter thing.
they do.
So I don't know if I.
We'll see. What
We'll
about
see.
the Spawn 2?
last one is a 49%.
We're back.
Hey.
70% audience score, which 49 I think is the highest one it's had yet. No?
Yeah. Well, 1 also had that, so
That was the
Okay.
highest
pretty
one.
good. Yeah.
The first one's okay. Yeah.
Yo.
Could end on a high note.
Okay. Well, cool.
So this next one is we really got to buckle in.
Well,
Yeah.
let's strap in and get this shit done. Here we go.
You ready?
Just don't let me fall, Dad.
Never.
I, Edward Cullen, take you, Bella Swan,
For better or for worse.
to love.
To cherish. As long as we both shall live.
This is how I'll remember you. Pink cheeks, heartbeat. I think I'd be used to telling you goodbye by now.
Last night was the best night of
Whoa.
The fetus isn't compatible with your body. It's too strong and fast growing.
It's crushing you from the inside out.
Your heart will give out before you can deliver.
You did this.
I can't see Bella's future anymore.
We don't know what they bred. We have to protect the tribe before it's too late.
You're the enemy now. Sam won't hesitate. You will be slaughtered. It's starving you by the hour.
I'm the one who lose you.
You have to accept what is.
You've given me no choice!
Get ready. They're coming for Bella.
You're not gonna touch her.
If you kill her, you kill me.
Bella!
Come on.
Alrighty, friends. Time literally stopped during that one.
Oh my god.
Breaking my back. Fucking sucked.
That
Big
was
time.
terrible. It was
Yeah.
awful.
This one pretty much abandons all
Wait.
plot. It is a pure
Hold up.
romantic melodrama.
I'm gonna give you 12 words
Okay.
to summarize the plot.
I'll
Henry.
count. Yeah, here we go.
All right, we'll give you time. 12. Can you do it?
Here we go. I believe in you fully.
Yeah, you could do it.
You can totally do this. You can totally do this,
Yeah,
dude.
you could do
yeah,
it.
here we go.
Marriage.
1.
Okay.
First, there's joy.
Okay, that's
4.
4 total now.
Okay.
First there's joy. Marriage first, there's joy.
That's 5.
Then passion.
Then passion.
7.
Then pregnancy.
Then pregnancy.
Then death.
Then death. How many do
You got one more.
You have one more word.
Rebirth.
Yes!
Yeah,
He did it!
You know what? That's it.
That was the plot of the movie.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Nothing. Once again, Bella is the only thing in this movie that matters in the world.
In the entire world.
She's causing every problem that exists on the planet. No one else cares about their own lives.
No one
Not
has
at all.
anything
No one gives
going
a
on.
shit.
Nobody has anything going on. Once again, our boys are back fighting over Bella.
Yeah, first fight at her wedding.
At her
He's
wedding.
like, "Can we dance?" And he's like, "You should split up."
Again.
At her wedding reception.
I don't think you're doing the right thing by taking this honeymoon. He's still trying to control.
He's still kind of.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I realized we didn't get into why we were choosing Edward or Jacob before, but it really comes down to this:
yeah.
Jacob is playing the nice guy card, but he's incredibly angry and controlling and gaslighting, guilt tripping at all times.
He's like super nice at first, and then immediately he gets angry.
If you do anything he doesn't want,
yeah,
you can't do this.
Yeah, I mean, Edward's not that much better, guys. If we're being
No,
completely
he's very
honest.
controlling.
He's also incredibly controlling and an asshole and not considerate.
But she is into him.
But she's into
you know,
him.
and he at least he's like, hey, you can leave or do whatever.
I
you
mean,
want.
they're perfect for each other. They both suck ass.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
both
They're
are
depressed
bad
together.
people. Yeah.
There's just a point midway through this movie where Taylor Lautner starts basically like saying the incel creed. He's like,
Oh my God. Yeah.
oh yeah,
Basically.
he's angry alone on the beach because he didn't get to marry his love, and he's looking at all these happy couples, and he's like, their genes just tell them they're happy.
He's got
while
some
they're miserable.
R/cool guys energy coming off this guy.
Yeah, it's
just incel versus cuck for the rest of the film.
It really would.
It's painful.
Oh,
Right.
and I lost my fucking mind. I know this is towards the end of the movie, but when he imprints on the baby.
Oh, that is the
And
defining moment of this movie. We have to define what
we gotta
imprinting
get there.
is.
I guess so, but
oh
I'm
my
just like
God, there's so
pretty
much
fucking mad about that.
There's so much just bullshit
Wrong.
happening.
Yeah. So I guess we'll take it from the top.
Okay.
Wedding happens.
They have a wedding.
Wedding.
They manage to have drama at it. There's some vampires who show up. They see werewolves. They're like, I'm leaving. Boom. We're already just people getting mad at other people.
Then
a lot
they
of love
take a
and a lot
car
of hate.
to Brazil.
Yeah, Taylor Lautner shows up.
Yes.
He's like, I don't want you to marry. Now she's crying on her wedding night. Whatever.
That's
but
pretty
yes,
cool.
Whatever.
Then they take their honeymoon.
They do.
Take a car there.
Yeah, they take a car to
Rio.
Rio de Janeiro.
Impressive.
Unexplained.
They started in Oregon, ended up in Rio. in
Same
a
night.
car.
Same night.
Even
They
more
left
north.
midnight from Oregon
This is true. This is all things that happened in the movie.
or Washington. Yeah.
And then they go to their private island, right?
Yeah, they have a
That's
private
Carlisle
island.
bought for
Yeah,
Edward.
their Dr. Father
Yes.
bought for them.
Yes.
Then there's a long lead up to the first, I don't know, losing the virginity sequence where she's like, I need a few
love
minutes.
making. It's called love making.
She's like, I need a few minutes, and they literally
Fucking
go
hours.
into an hour of her brushing
He's
her
been
teeth,
swimming in
combing
the
her
ocean
hair,
for
shaving. I mean,
days.
this is all very real,
Yeah.
on a certain level, but you're also just like,
I don't want to see it though. I don't care about
you
it.
need to understand.
I need to understand
This
what
is
it's
part of the
like
fantasy.
for this 18-year-old to lose their virginity in Rio. I don't care about this.
So
I don't
then they
relate.
start having sex. They destroy the room because vampire sex is rough.
Yeah.
And then they laugh about it when the
And they're laughing.
housekeepers have
Yeah.
to clean it up.
Right, they hire some Rio de Janeiro housekeepers.
Yep.
Which they probably live on that island.
They're like, we're rich, we're white. You have to clean up.
Clean up my
our-
cum sheets now.
It
Yeah, and
was-
the headboard
very.
and everything.
It's been a lot of like questionable.
Yeah.
How are we treating the non-white people in the film? And it really reached ahead with this one.
It really did.
Anyway, I wanted to bring up some great drama they bring up midway. They're having so much sex that, lo and behold, there are the lightest of bruises, really the lightest of love marks I have ever seen on Bella. And Edward's like, I can't do this anymore.
I feel
I
like
can't hurt you.
I
And then
can't
he
hurt you.
doesn't. I think they have sex once.
Yeah.
Or at
once
least just
more.
that night.
Also, they're playing chess during multiple montages through the sequence.
That's what they do for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They go swimming once, jump off a waterfall. Pretty cool. Rest of the time,
chess
and hook up, but not have sex.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is the rest.
Mad
of it.
hookups. Yeah, she's getting mad at him that he won't, but he's like, I can't hurt you, Bella. It's like, dude.
And she's trying hard.
Here's the point.
Hard.
Here's my question. Why we've been leading up for the last 3 movies to when you get married, I will turn you into a vampire.
Yeah.
They're fucking married. What's going on?
Why is he waiting?
Why are we waiting?
I don't
still?
know. Well, she wanted to do it as a human first.
Right.
Because the
There's
feeling
always-
would be different.
Well, just you did it. It happened.
It-
Then
yeah,
you fucking
yeah.
go. We're moving through things.
And then I don't know.
One
They didn't
thing happens and
explain-
then the
They don't
next thing
explain why
happens.
she, why they wait.
Maybe
on
they were
turning into a
waiting
vampire.
until after the honeymoon. They just wanted to like solidify that experience.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
the whole
sure.
trip.
Okay.
And then it was too late. So yeah, then we were super confused about they're trying to get rid of the baby for the rest of the time.
She becomes pregnant.
She becomes pregnant after 12, 14
14
days.
days. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle. And so she has morning sickness.
But the baby's accelerated too. Am I reading into?
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, it
It's
is
definitely
definitely way too.
accelerated.
Yeah, it's super accelerated.
And so they're like, "Oh, that's weird."
And
then
that's never
suddenly-
happened because when you turn as a vampire, you're supposed to be, sterile,
Infertile, yeah.
right? Because there's no blood flow. So the author, it's funny
I don't
because a
wanna
lot of
think about
people
that.
asked Stephanie, they're like, "How did you get hard to impregnate her?"
Right.
And then she was describing like how they're crystal, but they still have venom as like liquid.
Are you telling me there's an interview where
Yes,
the
a lot of people-
the
a lot of
creator
it.
of this series explains how their main character's dick works?
Yes.
Oh yes.
Many interviews.
What? Okay.
Yeah, I stopped reading after a few.
Okay.
I was a little tired of it.
I already knew too much.
But
Y'all
and
are
then we
fucked
were-
up. If you like this movie, fuck you.
So the whole crystal thing, like after that whole thing, they try and figure out, are we gonna get the baby out?
Something's wrong.
Yeah.
It's
Is she
growing
gonna
too
die?
fast, and it's a vampire baby. So they realize
She's
there's all
becoming
these problems
sickly.
with it. Yeah, they
Yeah.
can't they can't get an ultrasound on it. She's clearly has like cancer. Like
They
she is
can't get any
dying.
samples
She
out
looks
of it
bad.
because any syringe, the embryo's blocking.
The embryo
it,
is super powered with vampire venom. So
We'll just move on from that very quickly.
Move on from that. So then she's almost dying.
Correct.
Really close. She's got sunken in cheeks, dark eyes.
not looking.
Not looking good.
Not looking great. And then they start feeding her blood.
Well, first there's a werewolf drama happening around this
Oh,
because the werewolves.
yeah.
First, Jacob is pissed just that she's pregnant and that she's dying.
right.
And this vampire human baby apparently breaks the werewolf vampire truce.
I guess also
They're
there-
just scared
Everyone
that
wants
it's
to
too
kill.
powerful.
Everyone wants to
The
kill
wolves
the
are
baby.
scared that it's too powerful.
but
I
there's
think
no
that's what it
precedent
is.
for the baby to exist. How do they know it's so powerful?
Probably why they want to kill it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
Fear
they're
of
just
the
afraid
unknown.
that this could be very bad for the whole realm, I suppose.
I mean, they kill vampires all the time. They think this toddler one's just gonna be ripping through them all of a sudden.
I don't know. Maybe because Jacob's in the Bella, so they think it's messed up.
Okay, I'm reading into it way too much. I'm sure.
I don't know. I
you're
blacked out
asking
during
legitimate
that.
questions.
That wolf scene where Jacob confronts, the chief, and they talk now.
The wolves
Not
talk.
the wolves
animated.
talk in this one,
The
yeah.
mouths aren't moving, but it's voiced over, and they do like facial expressions. It's the worst thing I've seen.
They
for a long
speak
time.
slightly differently, like just a little more wolf-like.
Just mad.
Mad and like mad and fewer words.
I almost lost it at that point. The
And-
whole incel thing I could get past after a while, but once the wolves started
So
having voiceovers, I was done.
at this point, there becomes just a constant back and forth.
Yeah.
Kind of like over abortion in general. Like, should we abort the baby? Oh, we can't. Like, can we turn Bella into a vampire now? Oh, this isn't brought up in the movie at
Yeah.
all. We're like,
So
we
they
were
also
asking
interviewed
ourselves.
the author about this.
So we
Obviously,
were like,
why wouldn't you
Yeah.
just turn her, right?
Turn Bella into a vampire.
'Cause that's
She's
what
not-
she wants.
she's not
Everyone's
gonna
kind of
die.
down for it. They voted yes, right?
Yeah.
So apparently, if you get turned, since you're crystal,
Right.
you couldn't cut into a vampire. So your body kind of solidifies to the form it's in. So it's
Right.
frozen in time. So the baby would also be frozen.
would always be pregnant.
It would always be pregnant.
The ultimate curse.
Okay.
So she could have
Again,
just.
we had to look this up.
Yeah, because it's not implied whatsoever. in the
No.
film.
No, it's not.
Maybe in the
Not
book.
explained.
I'm not gonna read the book. So
Yeah,
I
me
can't
neither.
do that.
Indeed
Can't
not.
do it.
But so there's like this whole abortion thing going on.
Yeah.
There's at one point someone's like, they keep saying like the fetus is killing her, and another character's like the baby, and you're like, oh, I see what you're
Are they
going
doing?
for
it-
here.
I don't know what commentary they're doing.
I don't either.
I can't parse it. I
the
can't
wolves
figure
want to
out.
just kill the baby. Period.
Yeah.
Like basically, you're kind of like, I can't see Stephanie Meyer's writing anything that is pro-choice, anything anti,
Yeah.
anything pro-abortion, basically. But also,
Yeah, I
the
can't see that
messaging didn't
either.
feel like it was.
Maybe it got mixed a little bit. Maybe like the book is definitely hitting on one side of that,
Yeah.
and the movie's kind of
Yeah.
playing
Mixing,
around,
yeah.
trying to make sure everyone's.
But if they're gonna
happy.
wait till marriage, like no one else in the movie's having sex before marriage. You
They
know,
don't- they don't talk about it.
They don't talk about
Yeah.
it. Yeah. So I'm assuming very anti-abortion.
I'm assuming so, because Stephanie Meyer's. You were saying she's a Mormon author,
Yeah.
right? I think she was definitely probably trying to hit something, and it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work.
But anyways,
kind of muddled.
It is.
Jacob keeps changing his mind
Yeah.
between whether he's going to love and protect Bella or murder her child.
Yeah.
That's his big,
That's kind of been his thing for a while, though.
his dynamic. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the whole blood drinking scene was very funny to me.
That's how they cure Bella of her infant killing her. She starts just
They
drinking.
gave her more time to survive.
Yeah.
They have human blood stored away.
A lot
Which
of
makes
it.
sense.
Bunch of
He's a
bags.
doctor. You can get all this typo negative.
But they pour it into a styrofoam cup
with a straw.
Right. Cover it up so you can't see what's in it. Then you could see the red liquid coming up the straw.
Through the clear straw.
And you see her red teeth, and she starts going,
It's good.
It's good. I can't tell if it's cold or warm or what. It's
moving
cold.
pretty slow. It looks
It looks kind of cold, yeah.
So she's not feeling great, but it definitely like takes her from the brink of death.
Yeah.
Revives her a little bit.
And then they have this pretty horrific birth sequence.
It's pretty
where
bad.
She's screaming, and there's all the shaky cam, and
there's
they
quite
show
a bit
good amount of blood.
There's quite a bit of gore.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah,
They're,
baby's
like
covered in gore.
yanking it out of her. Yeah.
Minus the eyes. They kind of like wiped the eyes.
Yeah.
You think that was a fake baby?
I can't tell.
I think that
it looked more
think
realistic, but it looked fake to me.
I'm not sure. I think maybe we're just kind of tainted by the horrendous CGI baby that shows up later in the movie. But when the baby's first out of Bella, I think it looks okay. I don't know if it's real or not.
I think it does look okay.
Yeah,
I think it's the eyes that look the most messed up.
Oh, totally.
It doesn't look like a typical rubber baby, and I don't think they would have. If they didn't have a real one for like the normal baby, I don't think they would have had a real.
Probably not.
Newborn.
I think part of the reason they did the CGI baby is they had someone picked out for the role in the next film, so they CGI'd this child to look like that.
No, you know
that's a big brain move.
That's a big brain.
That's probably what
ended up
I think
really
it keeps
happening.
getting animated though.
So
Oh, really?
CGI
yeah,
baby comes
they do.
back
So
in
what
the
they
sequel.
ended up doing,
shit.
I read about it. The baby was supposed to be really beautiful and kind of unnatural looking, like between a vampire and a human.
Okay.
Because it's like the first thing, like actually be born immortal, right? Because every vampire is like turned.
Right. Is this an immortal child?
Yeah.
I remember, I forgot when they Googled.
Well, maybe it's like
immortal
half.
child,
Yeah,
and it pops
it's
up.
like half at least immortal. So who knows?
Half immortal.
But it's not supposed to look like a human baby. So they were like, let's CGI it, make it look really beautiful.
Yeah.
That's what ended up happening. A
Okay.
disaster. Absolutely.
A disaster.
Yeah, I've heard the legend of this CGI baby.
It's
from
fucked.
you, from my sister. Like over the
Yeah.
quarantine, she was like, "I've seen the worst. I've seen the most terrible
I've seen
thing."
horror.
It's not okay.
And yeah, you see it. We were all just like crying out in pain and fear.
It's terrifying.
It
And
blinks
then
at one point.
It blinks, and you're like, "Whoa!" Even more. But then we're like, "I have seen nothing more terrifying." And then Jacob is on the move. He's going to kill this baby.
Yeah.
And then instead, he starts looking at it, and they're cutting close up to the baby, close up to Jacob.
He's
and then he has this vision.
Yeah, he falls in love with it.
Falls in love
immediately.
With her. There's we didn't even bring it up. There's this werewolf imprinting thing. It's like a wolf thing. I don't know. It's like they choose a mate for life on the spot, and they must protect her.
Yeah, and then the whole pack can't touch it because it's
His
imprinted by a
werewolf
wolf.
packs, can't touch it. So now it's safe. And there was a big vampire werewolf fight at the end. It was actually pretty satisfying.
It was actually
to me.
That was actually pretty good.
It was pretty decent. But so the whole baby thing, going back to the whole cuck and cell fight.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
It's like, is Edward okay with this now because the baby's safe?
I feel like they've ignored it.
Edward's just getting more chill with Bella being, doing whatever Bella needs to do.
Yeah.
Edward is choosing the lesser of two evils with Bella, I feel.
I
Just
don't.
like, okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
But I wouldn't want to be either of those guys.
Me neither.
It's pretty tragic.
This is not a good situation.
No. Now Jacob's falling in love with this child.
Yeah.
It's not his baby. Really weird. They're gonna co-parent maybe.
So this is where do we miss any plot points? Because I think we've kind of talked about whatever bullshit happened in this thing.
Well, Colt called the very last moment of the movie shot by shot.
I did.
Nice.
I fucking did. Yeah. So the last shot of the movie is Bella. She has filled back out. She looks normal now.
Right. She totally died in childbirth.
She totally died.
And then Edward bit her like 7 times
Multiple
around the
times.
body.
All over her body. Yeah. So she wakes up, eyes flap open, red eyes, cut to
Red
black.
eyes.
Nice.
End of movie. I don't know. This feels like the end, right? I mean, I know there's another one, and I know like that there's
now
plot threads
Bella's
from the
gonna be a
old ones.
vampire. That's gonna be cool.
Now Bella's a newborn, so she's got all the
She's
new
gonna be
vampire
ripped.
shit.
I just don't care, guys.
And then the Volturi are definitely coming into it in the last one.
Yeah, this is not a good part 1 of a part 2.
No.
This does not make me want to watch another one.
No, I do want to know what happens at the end. I just want to know how this world ties up.
Okay.
Because nothing's really happening in this world besides
great
Bella
point,
causing
yeah.
problems. So like, how does this tie up?
Okay. That's valid.
That's all I want to know.
Where is this rolling stone gonna land?
The
avalanche of Bella will come to
what
a
will
rest.
it destroy?
Yeah. Jacob going
November 2012.
I'm hoping Jacob goes for the long con, just becomes the stepdad.
This is the worst shit. Okay, let's do this.
Yeah, I'm hungry. Let's go.
It's time to go.
I've had a bad habit of underestimating you. Every obstacle you faced, I think you couldn't overcome it. And you just did.
I didn't expect you to seem so... you?
My time as a human was over. But I never felt more alive. I thought we would be safe forever. But forever isn't as long as I'd hoped.
I have to report a crime. The Cullens, they've done something terrible.
Volturi thinks Renesmee is an immortal child.
She was born, not bitten. She grows every single day.
Oh my.
Creating an immortal child has long been outlawed and is met with the severest form of punishment. Death.
What is it, Alice?
The Volturi, they're coming for us.
If enough people knew the truth, maybe we could convince the Volturi to listen.
Our search began looking for vampires in the most remote corners of the world,
My family's in danger. I need your help.
each with their own gift.
You are an amazing woman. We'll join you. Pax will fight. We've never been afraid of vampires.
I'll never let anybody hurt you.
Sun years. More.
Can't believe
We loved it. We are in.
Hey guys, it really turned around in the fifth act.
I'm gonna say it right now, right here. It's my favorite movie of all time. 5th part, easily.
I think
Breaking Dawn, Part 2.
Part 2. The evolution, the CGI baby into a full-grown child,
To a full-grown nightmare.
an epic battle scene that never happened.
They really
the cuckening.
the cucking. We are the ones that got cucked in this week. They showed us a really cool fight scene,
Jacob,
and then they were like, "Oh, someone else is sleeping with your wife."
oh my god! I don't even know if should we get into that right away.
I don't know.
Should we wait on
My brain
it? We
is
should
just
get it.
soup right now. How are you guys holding up?
You know
charged.
what? I was worse off like an hour ago, I think.
Okay.
That song revived me.
Yeah.
The end credit song.
Yeah.
Years.
Just seeing Alice again, you know,
Yeah,
it was good.
That's right. We lost her
Good.
for a while.
we did.
She kind of pieced out, hung out in some tribal areas, did her own research. I wish they kind of showed some of that.
Can we just speed run the plot summary and then we'll talk
I don't even
about
know.
on?
I don't know what happened in the beginning.
So we start
Yes.
off. The very first scene is Bella's back, and now she's boss.
Was that this movie?
That
Yeah,
was this
she
movie.
just woke up?
She wakes
Yeah,
up
she
as a
wakes up at the
vampire.
beginning.
She grabs
shit.
Edward by his glittering vampire dick, and she is in control now.
Yeah.
We are not exaggerating. That is what I saw.
That is what I saw as well.
Yeah, dude, she becomes real dominant.
She starts running just like all the good vampires.
Dude, and then she rock climbs like El Caps.
She's
straight
the
up.
most powerful. She can control.
She
her
jumps
powers.
1,000.
That was my
meters.
favorite part. They're like halfway up the biggest cliff I've ever seen in my life. At least a half mile up, just jumps right off.
Yep.
No problem.
These things are fragile. These vampires, they're break.
They're crystal.
They're ripping each
Edward's
other's
face cracked when his head hit the ground.
Yeah.
Bella just jumped, but she's newborn, so you know.
She has extra powers.
She is the best.
She's ripped.
She's exclusively the only one that matters.
Then we have Demon Baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
New center of attention.
Correct.
Also Bella, very strong, but also lame powers.
True.
She's a
Her vampire
shield.
powers is of defense. That's the most I can tell you about that.
She can block attacks. Like no one else can use special attacks on her, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, she has special defense.
She can still get like physically beat up.
Yeah, she's like
she
a
doesn't really know
she's
how
like
to
a
fight.
metapod. she uses hardened.
She's just hardened, and then she uses like cast hardened in front of other people.
It's
which is,
super effective.
It's okay.
Then the Volturi want to show up and kill the baby.
Well, because there's a snitch.
Right. There's someone who sees the baby and is like, oh, it's different.
It's the girlfriend of what's our favorite character from the first movie? The black guy.
Laurent.
Right.
That's
yes.
Laurent's girlfriend from the first movie.
So she's mad because Laurent came up and was like, hey guys, I'm sick of my bad vampire friends because I can join up and hook up with her.
Right.
They're like, yeah, you guys can hook up.
Uh-huh.
And so then the wolves were like, we should kill him. So
he was a bad guy.
He was a bad guy.
He was trying to kill Bella.
But he kind of switched sides. Who knows?
He was trying to kill Bella actively when he was killed. So I don't know how
yeah, but she
defensible
loved
he
him,
is.
you know. So
You're right.
You're not wrong.
She was going for revenge from I'm pretty sure 2 to 5.
Yeah.
Like
This
the
has
whole
been a long
goddamn
game.
series.
Yeah.
So she's been. I mean, they've
So
been
she
kind of hinting at
assumes
it.
she assumes that the child is an immortal child, which is bad for some reason.
Yeah, everyone's freaked out by that. A born immortal.
But she doesn't ask. She just
Runs
immediately
away.
runs.
I think she gets mad because Jacob is trying to date her.
And Jacob's there.
And since Jacob's part of the wolves,
It doesn't. Yeah. Yes.
We could ask these questions all
She
day.
at the end of the movie, she says, "Fuck,
I fucked
I
up."
was wrong."
and dies. She's the only one that dies in this whole movie. I'm pretty sure.
So the Volturi are coming. So again, we have kind of like an arc.
Yes.
There's a war coming this time between the Volturi and all of our characters. So they have to find a whole bunch of other vampires throughout the world. Whereupon we meet Rami Malek playing Avatar: The Last Airbender.
And
that
is
is
correct.
his
He
vampire
says
power.
he can control all elements, and he only shows the 4 that Avatar controls.
That is correct.
Listen, he's been a vampire a long time. He's been slow to catch up that there is a periodic table of elements. Still believes in the medieval.
Yeah. Also, it's super dope that he got that power. I feel like it's
That's a
really
pretty
hit
good
or
one.
miss.
Yeah, you can luck
you get
out
a
or
defense
not.
shield.
Some of them have no powers.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Alice has a dope power.
Lee Pace, the like sexy rock star guy, one of my other favorite characters.
What is his power?
He doesn't have
I
a
don't
power.
think he has one.
He's just hot and kills.
He's just hot and likes to get
shitty band
electroshocked
members.
by his new girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind that
movie. I
dynamic.
don't mind that.
It's
No, it was-
pretty cool.
And on the nose too.
Yeah. Also,
Real.
Carlisle, what
True
is
to life.
his? What is his power?
Fast.
A doctor.
Doctor? No, because like
Master's
I was thinking about the
Owns
Volturi. Owns rich. That's his money.
He's the
So,
Iron Man of the.
I was thinking
cinematic
about like the
universe.
Volturi and why they're special, and like you were theorizing, like maybe once you get really old as a vampire, you get stronger. But
That's
I think
just the
they
typical.
yeah, but they also just pool all the talented people. That's why they wanted Alice.
Yeah.
And Jasper, or who was the other?
They didn't
Or
care
no,
about
no,
Jasper.
Bella.
They wanted Bella.
Bella and Alice. So they pulled Carlisle at one point because he lived with them for like a few decades. They said.
Yeah.
So I think they just pull the strongest.
Yeah.
It's like a
Maintain dominance.
Professor X's house for talented
Mutants.
vampires.
Talented vampires. And they had Smoke Man, Alec.
Yeah.
Dakota Fanning's
the
brother.
strongest.
Yeah, he has smoke powers of paralysis is I think the exact words that they used to describe it.
They let him use it once.
On one guy.
Smoke
In an
PNG3
alleyway.
comes out of his fingers.
Yeah, they showed
Pretty
up with
cool.
like 10 Volturi in an alleyway, and they were like, "Yeah,
Smoke
we need
him.
Alex, smoke him."
Yeah.
torture this guy. I know at one point we were like, all right, we're gearing up for war, and then there's like half an hour where something changes. I can't even remember.
It goes back into like this weird melodrama. Like
we have to hide the child, but only Jacob. We're not even getting into Jacob and the child.
The whole plan about getting the passports.
There's something going on.
That part of the movie sucked.
It's been 12 hours, folks. Like a non-salient details just get lost.
It doesn't matter. Also, none of this movie matters. Because at the end of this movie, I think we should just jump right to the conflict.
Yeah.
Because at the end, we get like this huge standoff between the Volturi and all their guys against this group of ragtag vampires that we assembled.
And werewolves.
Oh, look at all these cool, unique characters. Here we go. Big battle. Big battle happens.
A lot of people die.
Big battle's pretty good.
And everyone's getting their heads ripped off, like we've been saying. Sometimes really like
top of the jaw pull off.
Yeah.
No blood, but it's like the intensity of people ripping each other's heads off.
It's a good fight scene.
Yeah, like spin moves above people.
Yeah.
Head rip off, 180 off. Sick.
I mean, we're losing characters that we care about, but not in like bad ways. Like if this is how the movie would have ended, I would have been fully satisfied.
If there's like 5 good guys left,
yeah,
and maybe even just the main bad guy survived, like Aro, that'd be sick.
I'm totally fine with that.
All good.
But what happens is instead of that being what the true timeline is, right before we get into this true timeline, Alice goes up and does her let's show people the future power, which has not been established.
I think it's because he can read her mind, but
so he can.
I don't care.
This is what I'm on board with. I'm good with this.
Okay.
I'm not happy that it happened.
We're gonna let it. We'll allow it. It's bullshit, but we will allow. She goes up, touches his head, and this entire fight scene that we've loved is all in this dude's brain. Yeah. Nothing happened.
He just sees that he's going to lose, so then he changes his mind.
It did trick me. I was not expecting it.
I wasn't expecting it
either.
And
because he, starts reading her mind or whatever.
Right.
And then it jumps into the battle. They kind of cut it seamlessly with Carlisle running, I'm pretty sure.
Well, her reaction is to say, whatever I show you, you will always do this. So she's like, it's time to fight. And that's what kicks off the
fight. Turns around and says, now. And then everyone starts running. That's not part of the deal. You can't show that to him.
I think it is because she's like controlling the future by starting off the battle.
Oh, I hate this shit. She can't control the future, right? I thought she could just see it.
She is with an action. She can. If she sets her mind to kicking Aro,
my God.
Then she controls what's going to happen.
Influences what's going to happen. Yeah. We are really into this, and I'm all about it.
Oh, my God.
But anyways, it tricks you because they did it really well in that aspect where you have no idea this is
a vision
whatsoever. And then it just abruptly fucking pulls back.
Fucking blue balls you.
And they're all standing there still waiting to go to battle. Nobody's dead at all. At all. And Aro is like, you know what? I don't want to die because he's selfish.
Yeah. And then his brother, who he saw, get his like head ripped off from the jaw up or some nonsense. His brother's like, brother, we must fight. And he just puts a hand on his shoulder and he's like,
nah, bruh.
No, we're not doing this.
That's not where we're dying.
And then they literally speed walk vampire style out of there. There's all the bad guys, like they just fast forward.
Yeah, there's no like resolution there. He's just like, there's no danger here, brothers.
We're fine.
Yeah.
I have some. Listen, guys. At the beginning of this entire series of films,
yes,
compared to the end of this entire series of films, I'm going to name the 3 things that have happened. Okay. You ready?
You're gonna beat the 12 words.
Hold on. It's 2 things. Edward and Bella got together. They got married, and they had a kid. That is all that happened.
Objectively, all that is.
Nothing. No.
I mean, there's no
one else's life was changed.
But everyone felt a lot of things about it. Well, hey, Jacob got a girlfriend. We haven't touched on that yet.
Like,
let's talk. Go ahead, Andrew. I'm sorry.
I mean, you're right.
You are right.
It's Bella's fault all of this happened.
Yeah.
And it was in a quick span of, I don't know, what is that, 2 years?
Yeah, I think the whole series
is like 2 years. So Bella never existed.
When's the first time in this series of movie that Alice touches Bella's head? Because maybe this entire fucking 8 hours is just not
and
real.
She could have been like, hey, don't get her pregnant while she's a human. Or, hey, don't date her anymore.
Oh my God, guys.
But then we wouldn't have any of the saga.
We wouldn't have felt all the
We
things
wouldn't have felt all the things we felt.
Yeah. But Alice definitely knew quite a bit because the first time she sees her, she goes, "We're going to be really good friends." So who knows how far she can see into the future. And a lot of events kind of changed.
Yeah.
I don't know if we talked about, I bet we talked about the whole imprinting thing.
Last time we mentioned it happened. They get into it in this movie. First off, we haven't really talked about the demon child, but the CGI only gets worse.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
it's so bad. I just don't. I don't understand how it's so bad. If you haven't seen what this looks like, just Google an image.
Yeah. The worst part is the child gets older, and at one point it kind of grows in like 2, 3, 4 stages. You know?
Yeah.
They show it really quickly, but they just use the CGI baby face and add more hair in front of it and like eyelashes. Yeah. But it's the same dead eyes and fucked up model,
rigid mouth. Plastic mask.
I think what's happened is they're projecting a face onto a real person.
Certainly by the end.
And
by the end, not the baby itself. It's all CGI.
Yeah, the baby's full CGI, but I think with a kid running around, they're just projecting a face onto it. Compared to the rest of the CGI in these movies, it is atrociously bad.
Horrible.
It is the true definition of the uncanny valley.
Yeah. It's awful.
It is triggering a primal response in us to eradicate it.
I mean, I guess eyes are just so hard to do. CGI.
I mean, yeah.
And they were like, "Nah, we can do it."
They were doing them at this point, though. They were doing CGI at a level that was okay.
2012.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Right.
Maybe I'm wrong.
That's when Tron Legacy came out, and they made young Jeff Bridges. Also,
that was pretty bad. You're right.
He's supposed to be a villain, so it's like
that was
better. But
bad.
he's pretty lifeless.
It wasn't a child, though.
Exactly. It's not demonic.
Yeah.
The worst part is that there is this demon child, and then Taylor Lautner is their like co-parent stepdad who is betrothed to this child. Like they're not even hiding it by the end. They're like, yeah, this child's gonna grow up and be your lover.
Yeah. So
and he's like, all right.
I can't believe that's in a real movie.
Yeah. At first, the whole imprinting thing, I thought it's just love. I didn't realize it's lover's love.
It is lover's love.
Like lover's love. Like I was like, oh, he's gonna love it like a parent for the rest of his life.
Which is still fucking weird.
The whole fucking thing. I'm so over it, dude. And I was like, you know what? If they're gonna explain that they're both equally gonna love this child through this imprinting thing, whatever. And then I started to realize, wait, he's gonna marry or like live with this child
that
he has helped.
He's gonna groom it.
It doesn't make it any better that the child ages to full age in 7 years.
That's not far worse.
What does that mean?
Do
they start like making out at 7?
I don't know. I don't fucking know.
It's not okay on any level.
No.
How was this allowed to exist?
And then that joke
movie made hundreds of millions of
I
dollars.
can't believe it.
And then,
people love it.
You know how Jacob's talking to Edward at the end? He's like, "So, should I call you Dad?"
No.
Yeah, they play it off as a joke, but everyone is just like dying on the inside.
So they're forever gonna be like this quad thing.
Yeah, that's the real aim of
and then
Twilight.
we haven't talked about the worst tragedy that I did not want to believe is true.
This was incredible. This discovery.
What's up?
This is messed up. So at the wedding, which was I don't know when, maybe fourth
last movie, fourth movie.
Yeah.
There was a scene. So we remember Billy, Jacob's dad, right? Was dating Sue Clearwater.
Yes.
Billy is the name of Jacob's dad.
Right. I think he just has his
so they're
mom.
married, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe
the dude in the wheelchair was his dad.
That's his dad.
Yeah. Sue is married to Billy.
His mother. Okay, but anyway, keep going.
Right? So at the wedding, at one point, Charlie, which is best friends with Billy, they watch the Mariners
Bella's
all
father.
the time. Bella's father.
They are best friends. They do watch
makes
the
some kind of fucked up Native American joke about firewater and getting it for Sue.
Mm-hmm.
And Billy turns around in his wheelchair as if he's like, oh, I get it. Like, this is now happening. And you're like, that was weird.
A weird moment.
And then all of a sudden, middle of the fifth movie, Bella buys fishing tickets to go away on a little fishing adventure for 5 days. And she's like, hey, Dad, I got this for you and Sue. And then she sits down on his lap. And they're straight up now dating.
That's insane.
This all happens off screen.
Off screen, and you're like, hold up. what the fuck is happening here?
Bella's
Why
dad
is this a thing?
betrayed his best friend.
Yeah. So not only is Jacob getting cucked by one of the swans.
Yeah.
The whole series, that's the point of this entire saga.
Yeah.
In the end, his dad also gets cucked by his own wife.
This is the wildest shit.
Both of them by the swans. Son and father just get taken right out.
By the Swan family.
Just
son, like,
unbelievable.
Like daughter, like father.
I did not see this coming.
Yeah, we realized this. Again, this all happens off screen. You kind of just have to put the pieces together.
We were like, oh, that's
wait a
kind of
minute.
a crazy theory.
Why is he hanging out with that guy?
I don't think we would have noticed if we didn't watch these back to back.
When she sits on his lap and they were like, you guys are going fishing, I would have been like, what the fuck?
I wouldn't have. I don't think we would have remembered that character, though.
But people do.
I guess you're right. Yeah. People care about these movies for some reason. I don't know.
I don't know. And Charlie made a whole big deal about never being remarried, how he's a ladies' man, and we never really knew his whole relationship with dating or what's he trying to get into. But apparently, he's been playing the long con.
Of stealing his best friend's wife/girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is irredeemable, guys. This is not worth. This should not exist. There's nothing valuable in this entire series of films.
No, I think people love this so much because every girl from the age of, I don't know, 9 to like 15, this book came out, they were like, this is incredible. Two dudes just giving it all for the center of the world of a girl. And they're like, I wish that was me. I would love to live this fantasy.
Wow. Okay.
This movie, these books, they weren't made for us.
I get that.
It's not.
I get
for
that.
us.
I get that.
But truly, at some point, it all just becomes soup. There is just the
Yeah.
bare bones of plot to structure it all, and it's just people getting mad at each other, just feeling upset, yelling. It's just all emotion, all melodrama.
Yeah, it's all
And then when it all resolves, you're like, nothing happened.
It's like a soap opera. Yeah, it's like
Two people fell in love and had a
sitcom.
baby.
Yeah.
Over 10 hours, 12 hours or whatever we did.
Yeah. Did anything in the world actually change?
No.
Did anyone like major die? From
Let's think.
From the heroes? No, not from the hero side.
Not really, right?
Did anyone major die? I mean, yeah, other than villains in the first early ones. No.
Did anything in the outside world change? We also didn't even like
The
learn
humans
about
never.
the
humans never learned.
Never
that
learned anything.
Vampires existed.
Status quo. I guess the werewolves and the vampires are kind of like friends now.
I don't care.
Kind of.
I mean, I feel like they're on the same terms as before. They're just kind of like not fighting each other right now.
You're probably right.
The Volturi just go back to Italy.
The Vladimir and his buddy go back to Romania.
Right. We left out those guys, the Romanian vampires, who are definitely like ancient medieval war criminals.
Like actually vampires.
Biblical evil.
They're so excited to defeat the Volturi so they can take
They're
over
like,
the
we're
world.
here to actually fight.
It's like, it's like Voldemort showing up and being like, yeah, we're going to take out Hitler. Yeah. We're like, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Second.
Who do we have on our side?
And then the battle like never happens and everything's safe. And they're like, wait,
they're like,
let's go chase them down.
Let's
They're
murder.
running away. They're retreating. Time to attack. And everyone's like, nah, you guys don't get it.
We did the diplomacy right.
And then they exited just east, just left.
They just run off the battlefield.
A different
up a mountain.
direction. Just a different direction.
Just speed blurred out of the
Romania is this way, they said.
Romania is this way.
Ran.
Oh my God.
And they ran. There's no way those dudes got on a plane. Let's be real. Looking like that, there's no way they got on an airplane. They swam, took a ship.
Ran across water.
Ran across. I'm just saying, there's no fucking way they got on a plane.
Oh, well, boys, I thoroughly enjoyed doing this with you guys. I think these movies are dog shit.
Yo, I had a good time.
I had a great time.
I won't say they're bad, but it was cool.
Yeah. Was there a movie that stood out as like, this is probably the best one? Probably the first one for me.
I gotta say the first one.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because like the origin stories are the best typically.
Yeah.
'Cause there's nothing else this movie has going for it as far as storytelling.
Definitely the most stuff happened in the first one.
Yeah.
Just because it was an origin movie, I think.
And it was kind of like high schoolish too. which it had that element.
Yeah.
Where Bella's like dealing with, you know, the lunch table.
The idea.
Going to the movies with friends still and things like that.
The idea of the movie is more novel at that point too. I mean, they don't really like change what they're doing in these movies at any point. There's no elevation of like, oh, now there's the humans are maybe suspecting that there's vampires and that becomes an element. It's always the same.
It's about
conflict.
the soap opera. Yeah.
That is another
thing. It's about
thing.
the love triangle.
Yeah, and there's like you guys are right. Like, there's never a suspicion.
No,
of
it's not part of the.
For a while, Charlie's like, "Oof, there's a problem with people dying. Like, I think it's a big beast." And then by the end, he knows it's just Jacob, and then it's all good.
Yeah.
But do they ever explain vampires to Charlie?
Somehow they don't really get into it. I think
they kind of skirt around it pretty awkwardly.
I don't know what ended up happening to Charlie.
I don't really know
I think
either.
They kind of just walked out of the movie at that point.
Yeah, that's it. The scenes just some of these scenes just end with no reason for them to end, and then
or even to have begun.
Yeah, and there's no pickup of that plot. It's just well
now he's dating
that
Sue.
guy we've never heard of before is dead in an alleyway. And we'll move on, I guess. I don't, there's not,
that was a weird one.
Yeah. We don't care about this guy. We don't know his name. He is dead.
Volturi are evil. So there you go.
Yep.
I guess and they've got we did get to see Smoke Man's powers in that scene. That was it.
Yep. His Action Essentials plugin came out of his fingers. It was pretty cool.
That was cool.
God damn. These suck, but
there was, I don't know what's the worst one. I want to say 2, but maybe I was tired. I don't know.
2 was definitely the worst for me.
You really think so?
One, yeah.
That was the most of a slog.
Was that just like 4? Nothing happened?
2 or 4, yeah. 4, I was like basically out of my mind at that point, so I was just kind of weird. I mean, honestly, I want to point out we were like screaming when this movie began. Like, I mean,
I was
everything. We were just so hyped.
Times.
Yeah, we were just like, oh, when we saw Rami Malek was in it, just oh.
Did you guys notice the running kind of changed completely later on?
It got
it just became
looking, but not
I don't know if it was CGI, but it just ended up like being blurred, edited.
Just pure blur,
you know?
yeah.
I do miss the wire flying from the first one.
Yeah,
that was sick.
Treadmill
and the
dollies.
treadmill dollies.
Treadmill dolly was pretty cool.
Those are cool.
Well, those are the redeeming elements of these films.
The treadmill dolly tech.
The treadmill dolly tech is pretty cool.
Laurent was fun. I'm just gonna throw him back out there.
Alice, I'm gonna say
yeah,
Alice was my favorite
cool.
character.
I liked Emmett.
Like a good soap opera, we all found someone to get behind.
Laurent?
Laurent.
I'm going with Alice.
I would know. For me, it would probably still be Alice, but I'm just throwing out.
Alice is pretty cool.
Yeah. Just kind of saved the entire world, probably
in the lamest way possible.
Yes,
you're right.
Powers of
but I still
lame.
like her.
Yeah,
I'm still sold.
Well, folks, that'll probably do it.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this. I think this is our longest one, right?
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, this is the first 5.
What time did we start?
Yes, we've done 10 a.m.
Got around 10:15 is when we got here. We probably started recording around 10:45.
And it's
what's time?
10:40 at night right now.
Wow, 12 hours.
12-hour shift.
12 hours for 10 hours of movie. We're pretty good timing.
Yeah, I do feel not as tired as I thought, and I thought this would be harder. I am kind of relieved it's over, though.
Oh yeah,
I'm glad to have this one in the rear view.
Yeah.
I can't.
Guess we'll think about what we're doing.
I can't believe people liked these movies. I would love. I think we should do. Maybe I'll do a follow up. I'll like find someone that likes these movies and just have a sit down interview with him and be like, what? What is going on?
I do have.
Are you okay?
I do have some people who are very into this. Yeah.
Okay.
You can go do that interview right now.
Okay.
On 6th Street. You ready to go?
On 6th Street?
Yeah.
I can't do that. I don't know if I can. Right now?
Yeah, live.
Okay, here we go.
All right. Why do you like this?
Why do you like this?
Why?
Defend yourself.
Defend yourself.
Well, boys, I think we'll call it there. You have anything to promote or?
Oof. Well, I do want to say you were talking about Resident Evil 8, right?
Yeah.
Not that we should combine the two worlds, but
I
can't.
What's about to happen?
I'm saying like a bonus episode.
What's about to happen?
If we're gonna do Resident Evil, which I want to do.
Yeah.
Maybe next.
Are you talking about the movies or the game?
Yes, the movies.
Okay. Yeah. How many movies are there?
6.
Maybe 7.
There's 6. I looked it up recently.
That's not bad. I mean, that's bad.
Let's
It's bad.
It's bad, but
it's bad.
We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. Yes, we'll do it. We'll do it.
Pretty hyped. So I want to do. Here's my proposition. We should check when the new Resident Evil is coming out, if it ever is. Maybe they said fall.
The movie.
Yeah, it's coming out fall. I don't want to.
You don't want to.
I don't want to make it 7 or wait. It's fall.
You don't want to make it 7 or wait.
I don't. Neither of those things.
Okay.
There's 6. If we are waiting for the 7th movie to come out.
Well, are we waiting for Fast and the Furious? Because that's coming out soon, no?
Coming out in a minute, but I don't know if I feel good about that either.
Fast and the Furious. Are we talking about
the 9th Fast and the Furious is coming out in like a week or 2.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We'll punt that one down the road a little bit.
So what I was proposing
go
is
for it,
6 Resident Evils.
Okay.
And then a bonus episode after of some of gameplay.
Okay, yeah. That sounds fun.
But on the podcast, you know?
On the podcast? Sure.
So is it a bonus episode, or is that...
We'll put it on YouTube, but yes, we'll call it a bonus episode.
Okay, we'll have direct links.
Yeah.
I don't run the show here. I just talk and eat. Go to the bathroom more than everyone else.
That's true.
So I get that award.
Sweet. This will be coming out. Couch in a Bottle is still going.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
How are we doing on that? What's going on?
It did not come out this week, obviously, because I was traveling, but it will come out Friday.
Cool. And then how far are you in the others?
There's only 2 left, so one will come out Friday, and then one will come out the Friday after that.
Friday after next.
Yeah. And then that'll be it for Couch in a Bottle season 1. And then maybe we'll do a season 2.
All right, let's take a break.
Okay.
From consciousness.
Yep. Well, thanks y'all for listening. This was such an experience.
Yeah. We've had it, so you don't have to.
Yeah.